easily fallen off. Bumper to bumper, it's all 100% built right here in the shop. 2011 F350 dually.
What's up, bro?
Man, I can't believe you've still been riding around like this, man.
I'm overdue, right?
Ooh, wait.
What we got here?
Oh, Heath, let's check it out.
Damn.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
So today I'm going out to Jose's house and meet with him. How you doing, man?
Good.
Jose's a repeat customer, which is my favorite. In fact, the first thing I see is the Kodiak we built. You got a project for me?
Yes, sir. Being that you done such a good job on my Kodiak, I got a new one I'd like for you to take a look at.
Let's see what you got. See, the old Kodiak's still looking good.
Oh, yeah. You see the looks that one gets?
Yeah. Man, this is it.
This is it.
Man, you told me you had a truck, man. You got parts.
Don't get scared. I mean, it's majority all there. This here, 1966 Chevrolet C10. Solid truck.
No rust on it, not all rusted.
No. I wouldn't have bought it if it was all rusted out.
Right. The Chevy C10 is one of my favorite trucks. With its iconic lines and body style, there are endless custom possibilities. So overall, it looks like it's pretty good condition, huh?
Yes, sir. I've owned the 66 truck about 3 months. Bought it from a neighbor of mine who had tore it down to rebuild it and never got around to it. I mean, of course, I want y'all to do a full-on like you did my Kodiak.
You know, that's always scary to come in, you know, second, third, fourth, 20th down the line. You don't know what parts are missing. It makes it a little more difficult when it's not a complete vehicle to start with. Motor.
Well, you want to see what it's got in there? So, yeah, it's going to be a motor.
Well, that's the way we like it. We just put what we want in it, right?
Right.
You know, there's a lot of things missing on Jose's truck. I mean, bumpers went like this and just, you know, think they should just go straight to the junkyard.
There is one thing that I want you to change that's maybe out of the ordinary. I want you to take this dash out.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to incorporate this style of dash into the truck you're going to build me.
You want to cut the dash out of this?
No. Not taking out of this car.
Jose is known in Houston for his Impalas. He has some of the nicest restorations I've seen. They're real showstoppers.
We'll get another one, but this dash in that
just
truck.
the Impala feel in it.
Yes. And then we're going to paint the style of trim off the Impala on the sides.
This style,
I like
60s,
more the 61 style.
61. So you want a Chevy Impala truck?
Basically.
Bringing the Impala side of his life into a truck build, I think it's a perfect fit. I mean, Impalas are, you know, prevalent in his life, and it's definitely going to make this one-of-a-kind truck.
The end goal is absolutely to drive it. I don't like trailering my stuff.
You want something you can just jump in, drive to California, win a car show over there, come back with the trophy in the back.
Drive it there and back. That's
right.
What I want.
Jose has a great idea, but at this point, this 50-year-old Chevy is basically just parts. Maybe the biggest challenge is there's a lot of work to make it right. I can't even tell you how many C10s we built at Extensive, more than I can remember. So I love combining the best of two classics, the distinctive body design of a C10 and the style and flair of an Impala. The key is making it seamless, so you can't tell where one ends and the other begins.
Man, I like these trucks.
This thing's cool. Good looking truck.
Ooh, what we got? Oh, man. I thought there's going to be something there. So we have a whole lot of nothing. So what's the plan?
We got a long list for this truck. I mean, we're building the whole truck. We're going to build cross between a 66 Chevy and like 60s Impala truck. My plan is a new 6.2 LS engine and a grill, bumper, and headlights. We'll hand make an air suspension for 24-inch wheels and tires. On the inside, we'll swap out that old dash with an actual 60s Impala dash, and we'll build one-of-a-kind interior, door panels, console, and seats.
You know, the cool part is C10s are so popular. There's so much readily available.
Thanks, man. You just jinxed that for us.
I did not. All right.
Finally, we'll give this truck a full paint job and airbrush Impala trim down the sides. There will not be another one like this anywhere.
Man, the airbrush gotta look really badass on this truck, make it look cool.
It does.
What are we gonna call it? We gotta come up with a name.
Huh?
C10 Alma? Is that what this is? Imposter. Because it's not really an Impala, it's a truck.
Pasta?
Man, that does sound good. I'm hungry too.
Whatever it's called, anytime we take over someone else's build, I'm always worried what we're gonna find. But we'll never know for sure until we tear it down. Man, you ready to do this?
I guess.
Let's just get it on the lift and
Take it apart.
start cutting.
Grab that side of the hood. Let's pull it out. Put it on top of here for now. Pull it up.
Before we get it back up, let's get the glass out, pull the bed, pull the rear end, then we'll cut the frame.
All right. Not bolted. Not even bolted. Hey, Bill, there's no bolts in this bed, man.
Then I hope there is. Then hauled it on a wrecker over here.
For real, it's not bolted down. Check it out. On the back or on this side.
Oh, man. More often than not, when we get vehicles from other shops, there's been corners cut. And those can be dangerous corners. Oh,
Hey, made it here, so.
good thing it didn't on 59. If I would have hit a bump, this could have easily fallen off. We got lucky.
What's the plan, Bill?
Roll it as far as we can and take the bed off.
Help us take the bed off real quick.
Man.
What's up, man? Woo.
Look, what I tell you about doing side work, man.
Man, I can do a better job than that.
Man, I hope so. To make this truck ride low, somebody cut a notch right into the frame. That weakens it, and that's no bueno. What does that side look like?
This side's worse.
Yeah, they made room to lower it, but this thing gets in an accident, gets rear-ended, this thing can fold up and break in half. I mean, we'll definitely cut that section out. You know, this truck's like an onion. You can just peel back the layers. It's enough to make you cry.
What happened now?
No matter what we do, we're still gonna have the factory frame under it. Let's just build a whole new frame. Front bumper to back bumper. I was trying to clean stuff up like this. Man, all this, there's no matter what we do, you can't get rid of this. Just start fresh. You know, there's no sense even trying to salvage this frame. It'd be faster, safer, just to build a whole new frame from scratch. Let's do it. I built at least 60 custom frames over the years. Each one is completely one of a kind. Start drawing the new chassis for the 66 Chevy. The way I lay these out on paper is just a quick little sketch that, you know, that's the way I've been doing it all my life. Bumper to bumper, it's all 100% built right here in the shop. Cool, man. Now we got all these measurements. Let's transfer them to the table. Once we have everything transferred to the table, you can start cutting the pieces, man. Cool. Little jigsaw puzzle, right? Building a custom frame that's the first thing you do when you're building a custom car. Everything 100% level, true, square. We'll go from 2x4 here, the main tube, up to 2x3. There's no compromises and something like that. I mean, this is the whole foundation for the whole vehicle. So this has to be absolutely perfect. You're gonna make two like that, 90 degrees.
All right.
And
Perfect.
And once.
Right. All right, man.
All right, holla if you need.
Bill basically got all the templates cut out, all my measurements and everything. So what I'm going to do is cut everything in doubles on our saw. I need to go ahead and hurry up and get this done properly. Bill's a perfectionist. He expects a lot out of me, so I need to do a good job.
I think we're ready to go.
Yeah?
custom frame for the 66 Chevy C10. The major advantage of building a full chassis is just rigidity, the looks. This is stronger now, this custom frame, than the factory frame, ever imagined to be. Just get it squared real quick. 126 and a half. Ready?
Yeah.
126 and an 8. On the frame, we're dealing with less than 1/16 inch tolerance. This thing needs to be exact. Our name is on the in 5/16. The tape measure is crooked where you're holding it. There you go. That's it, man. It looks good, man. Now to mock up the positioning of the axle. All right, ready?
Yep.
Alright. Got a little weight to it. It all works together. The position of the axle dictates where we install the air suspension, which creates the stance of the truck. Let me scoot it back a little bit and we'll get a center line of where to start from.
Okay.
You need to scoot back or what?
Yeah, I'm good right here.
On a job like this, we like to use 1 1/4" Schedule 40 pipe to make the frame more rigid. And it's not just function. I like that it gives it a unique look. Man, it's pretty close, a little step closer. We're just gonna keep adding pipes and weld it to the frame and turn it into a work of art. By the time we're done with this, there's gonna be probably 85 to 100 feet of just rolled pipe just to make this over the top. Most people just build frame rails front to back, just bare minimal. What I like doing is just creating something totally different, something nobody's ever seen before. Damn, that looks good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad our old client Julio is coming back to Extensive. A couple years back, we built this 2011 F350 for him. But we have some unfinished business.
What's up, man?
What's up, bro? How you been?
Man, all right.
Yeah? Good to see you, good to see you.
Man, the old thing's still looking good.
Yeah, it's running real good, man. I acquired the 2000 F350 about 2 years ago, and I immediately brought it to Extensive to get the suspension done. Get a lot of attention, bro, everywhere I take it, from just driving around in town or towing a 2-car hauler, it turns a lot of heads.
Hell yeah.
Now we just got to finish off the interior. Obviously, I get a lot of props because of the suspension and big wheels, the 26-inch Forgiatos. A lot of people look at the vehicle and they're curious to see what the interior looks like. So I had to tint the windows super dark because the interior's not done.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, man. I'm overdue, right? Man, I can't believe you've still been riding around like this, man. Come on. We're past due. Not everyone has the time and the money to do it all at once. It's pretty common to finish these builds in stages. Man, we need to make the inside of this look just as good, better than the outside. Right? Man, I love that flowing console. Definitely cover the seats. Headliner, build new door panels. I'm all for it. I know Bill and the crew here at Extensive Metalworks are going to do a great job, so I'm looking forward to it. Let's go get you hooked up. Let's do it. I know you want some crazy stereo in there, too. Let's make it happen. Not everybody can just come drop off a car and say, here you go. Let me know how much I owe you at the end. Sometimes you get projects in that come in stages. And here we are with Julio's truck. Man, he's in for the last little stage of his build. Been a long time coming, as you can see. It's well worn. So we're going to get him hooked up. The outside of the dually looks fresh and one of a kind. So for the interior, I'm thinking we'll color match everything to the dark brown of the dash. Handmade leather seats, custom headliner, door panels, kicks, and topped off with a slick stereo system. All over. So I asked Heath and Jonah to rip out all the factory stuff, everything.
I'll go ahead and start unbolting these seats.
Okay.
You start jerking off these door panels. Cool. And I don't mean that in a bad way. This truck started out as a work truck.
Interior's just torn up from daily use, but that's cool. You're not gonna be able to recognize it when we're done. You got it.
Ta-da!
Okay, I got my chipboard up here. It's gonna be a template for our console that's gonna actually flow right into our wraparound. To do that, I need to make a template first that matches all the way to the dash. And then I'm gonna cut it out of some 1/2" MDF. We're gonna do a process called kerfing, which will allow me to fold the wood, basically bend it, to get our nice little curves that we need.
F350 interior design is well on its way.
Heath is working the console into shape.
The lid of this console, we have to curve the wood. We've got it marked off in certain segments, which will allow me to fold the wood. We cut it almost all the way through, leaves a thin layer on top, which keeps it attached, but allows you to curve it. Okay, we got all our curving done. As you can see, we got our shape. It's gonna curve just like we want to follow the curve of the console. So now I gotta attach it to my sides that I already made, body work it out, make it look cool. Once the body filler hardens, I sand it smooth, and then I bevel the edges. This gives it awesome lines and curves.
So far, Julio's F350 interior is looking great, but the part that needs the most attention is the seats. So I got Jonah hand making the ultra leather parts for the seat covers.
I'm gonna get these two glued together. We'll glue the vinyl on here, we'll get it pressed in there, and then that should give us the nice look of the dash that we're going for. So when working this vinyl, you want to start from the center and go out. If you don't, you'll get a bunch of pulled vinyl in the wrong spots. And there's our insert. I can start sewing it in with the rest of my patterns. All right, now that I have this thing all sewn together, we're gonna slip it on here and it should fit first try. Fits nice.
With the new frame on Jose's 66 C10 built, it's time to start thinking about what's going under the hood. Jose picked his own engine and it just arrived at the shop.
What kind of motor is this, man?
6.2 out of Escalade.
Build or stock?
No, this is stock, man, but it comes with 400 horsepower stock, so it should be good to go.
Hell yeah.
She's yours now. Man, that ain't what I want to see. Jose didn't tell me he's got a 6-speed. I knew Jose was getting the 6.2, but the 6-speed is way bigger than I expected. It's 16 inches. Man, there's no way that's going to fit underneath there. You got to cut a huge hole in the tunnel to make room for this thing.
If stuff like this didn't happen, I wouldn't have nothing to do.
Well, in that case, you can cut the tunnel out.
Great.
Our only choice is cutting a hole in the floor and making it fit. Hey, close the door.
You ever punch yourself in the face doing something like that?
Nah, you?
Of course.
Hold on, mate. You got these wires.
16. This truck, there's plenty of room to work with. Later model vehicles, you run into a lot of factory AC. It's kind of nice to get a job like this where you can just get in, cut it out. We're cutting a hole in the firewall on the floor that's just big enough for the engine and transmission to fit through. Yeah.
Ready?
Yes, sir, I am ready.
Here goes nothing.
Come on in. Pick up right here. Pick up more. We're going to check to see if our measurements were correct. That went way easier than I thought it would. While we reinforce and weld this tunnel, the engine's going off to get painted.
Jose's really into the Impalas. He has a couple of them at his house. So what we're going to do on this truck is keep the Impala theme. So to take it over the top, we're going to cut this dash out and put an Impala dash in this truck. Now we have the stock dash cutout, let's just hope Spot can find us an Impala dash. If not, we may be making one.
So today, I'm out hunting a 1960s Impala dash. Luckily, Houston has one of the largest Impala communities, and one of the best places anywhere is run by my boy Bruce.
What's up, brother?
Doing all right. He does some truly top-notch restorations himself, and usually has whatever Impala parts you need.
What you looking for today?
Man, I'm looking for some parts.
Impala parts, I hope.
For sure. Specifically one thing. Dash. But for a truck.
Oh, a truck?
Yeah.
We need to find the right length of it, and so it'll fit in. You won't have any gaps or anything.
Exactly. Even if we got to cut it up, though, we'll make it fit.
Perfect.
Man, you always got all the cool stuff.
My organized mess.
There you go.
All right. Here's some of what I got. How about this one?
Man, that is badass. Only thing is, I was hoping that you had the whole dash, cut out around the windshield.
If this won't work, I have a couple full dashes I could let you check out. Watch your step. This one is out of a 5960 Impala. All the gauges are complete. It has the radio, the glove box.
Looking for?
I guess the only thing is to talk about is price.
Would 400 buy it?
For a bill, I'll do it for 400.
Man, bet. Appreciate it.
Let's load it up.
Thank you, brother. I'll come back talk to you soon.
Cool. Take it easy.
Bruce gave us a smoking deal on this dash. It's got a little bit of rust, but I think it's going to look perfect in this C10 truck. Get it? Got it, man. You're going to like this one. It's clean.
The bottom, man.
Minus the rust. We're going to cut that off anyway.
Bruce came through, huh?
Man, it's the nicest one he had.
He probably had 5 or 6 of them laying around.
He had quite a few, man. Pieces and parts, everything.
Man, that thing's gonna look good in there. But let's get in the truck. Check it out. Yeah. The dash is better than I expected. The question is, how are we gonna fit it in this truck? Hold it right there. Could scoot it over. Well, all the way to the dash, that's gonna look, man, it ain't gonna look right. Man, if you center this up, man, the radio and everything is going to look offset. It's going to look out of whack. We knew this wasn't going to be an easy fit. The Impala dash is shorter than the C10 body, so it definitely doesn't look right. This ain't going to work. Of course, it wouldn't be that easy. Man, it ain't gonna work. Anytime you try to install a part out of a different vehicle, like we're doing with this 66 C10, you know you're gonna have some issues. You got your 2 buckets, you got your nice console that goes all the way up to the dash. See how it's not symmetrical there? It's all pushed over. It's gonna look just out of whack. Man, we're gonna have to cut it. We're gonna have to cut it and split it down the middle to make it symmetrical. So let's split it right down the middle, right around the radio bezel, and straight down right there. And then we'll move this whole side over, and then we'll add a little section right in it. It's gonna look good. We'll make it look good. That's how it is around here. The big bills and the... We're good. We do everything, but we're a metal shop first and foremost. That's why we have guys like Tim around. He's a finisher. He gets the job done. Now we have a dash cut apart. We need to fill these pieces back in with some sheet metal. The way we'll do that, we'll usually overcut it. If you cut it a little bit bigger, trace it back with a pen. You can use your snips for a real precise cut. And when you go to fill it in, the metal butts up really well, and it's easier to weld back together. This way, the body guys won't have to use as much filler to make the body completely smooth.
Jose wants an Impala truck, Tim and the guys are going to install Impala door handles.
We took the whole Impala handle, and this sheet metal already has an indention and indention where it fits real good. We're going to cut out this Impala door handle out of an existing Impala door, and Fernando's going to fit it into the Chevy truck. What he's going to do now, basically got a round surface to something kind of flat. So you got to manipulate it to the door to make it fit the door real smooth. And these old cars are good about having a real thick quality door. Any aftermarket door skin you try to buy is real thin, real flimsy. These work real well to retrofit them into other doors. So now what we'll do is get this cleaned off real well, and then they'll come back and start laying some body wear and do some primer, and we'll be on to paint.
Heath and Jonah are finished making the interior pieces for Julio's F350. Now it's time to install them. We pretty much made everything in here. So now this truck is finally custom inside and out. Place with him and his boys all hanging out to show him his new interior. Julio, I know we've been friends for a long time. You've been a great customer. Man, I know you've been going to the shows, Julio. Pull up in the dually, looking good, but with your dark ass windows.
So it's been terrible having to go to shows in the dually and not being able to show the inside. I mean, for a while, it's kind of embarrassed. You and my guys are always giving me a hard time. So I'm anxious to see what Bill and the guys have come up with. I'm ready to see it. Where's it at?
Let's give my boy Heath to bring it around.
Can't even see inside of it.
That used to be a good thing.
What's it gonna be? What we got here?
Come on, Heath, let's check it out.
What you guys think, huh? Yeah. Look at that. So wow, it was crazy whenever Heath pulled up and opened that door, just seeing my interior is phenomenal.
Man, my guys, Heath, Jonah, they just kick ass on every project, no matter what it is.
The hard part about this truck was making the inside look as good as the outside. It's got a good, elegant, but tough feel to it, man. I hope you dig it, brother.
I love it, man.
Yeah. It's, man, you know, the wrap around through the back, it just hugs you when you sit in it, man. It just is super comfortable. I mean, even to the door panels, you see just completely sculpted, all handmade by this man right here. They're just stylish and really loud. I mean, there's a lot of power in this thing. There's 3,000 watts in this truck.
Damn.
10-inch sub that just, you feel it.
Yeah, I'm really happy the way it came out. I can't thank you guys enough, man.
Hell yeah.
Now the truck's really complete.
Almost.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna pull this tin off now. You know, Julio's not gonna have any problems having to, you know, be embarrassed to having the door shut at the show anymore.
You did a badass job, bro.
Thank you, man.
Look forward to doing plenty of business together, man.
Hell yeah. Framework is something Extensive is known for. Case in point, the frame on Jose's 66 C10. But that's no good hidden, so I'd asked Rudy to make a trap door in the bed. With the flip of a switch, that electric actuator will lift up and show off that frame.
So we got these hinges here. Once we get these both, so once the truck lays out, the door will open, and you'll be able to see the whole custom frame we've done. I'm gonna have to modify it. The spar doesn't want to sit into place where it needs to be. I'm gonna have to modify the hinges here. They're still too high.
Whenever you're fabricating a custom part, like Jose's trap door on the 66 C10, there's always a lot of cutting and welding to get it just right. Rudy's got to modify those hinges so it'll lift that bed smoothly.
So that'll work. We can actually see how they're going to actually work. So once the truck hits the floor, it opens the door. Dope. Hinges are all welded up to the frame. Now we're going to go ahead and just add 3 more pieces of the cross members just to reinforce it, give it a little bit more strength because it's going to carry all the wood on top of it. Once we put that in, we'll test the frame and see how these hinges work. All right. There we go. Once the truck hits the floor, door will go up. You'll be able to see all the hard work Jamie and Bill did, make it look all nice and fancy.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Tighten this up. Right now we're just mocking up the last little bit of the suspension, just the upper control arm mounts. Once we have those in place, the next step, building the bag mount, shock mounts, then the suspension is totally done.
Looks good right there.
Crank it up.
All right.
As you can see, we got all the geometry right. The thing at rod height is absolutely perfect. When we deflate it, let all the air out, the truck sets completely flat on the ground, even with the huge wheels. So that's exactly what we want. We don't want the wheels to look like the truck's broke. We want everything to look like it's right on the money. So that's what it is. Man, Jamie, that fits good. Before we paint, every vehicle goes through rigorous bodywork preparation. The old paint gets stripped off and every scratch, dent, hole gets filled. When everything's flawless and perfectly smooth, we move it over to paint. I'm gonna go with the metallic root beer color, which will add even more style to this iconic truck. And Charlie's gonna make this paint really stand out.
So for the 66 C10, there's a lot of curves and stuff in there. So with the brown that we've chosen and the metallics and the pearls that are all in it, it just gives the whole thing a different effect. Every angle that you look at it, every way you look at it, or every light that you put it in, it'll actually give it different tones. So when you're spraying paint, a lot of these guys, that's their number one deal where they fail. You know, you can't just point a gun and think that it's gonna cover everything. You know, every angle that the panel has, your fan needs to be facing that panel so that way you get maximum coverage on everything. So you don't have dry spots in it, clouds in it, or anything like that. You know, Jose's gonna take this truck to a lot of different big shows. Everybody's gonna have this truck under the finest microscope. So everything on this truck has to be perfect.
Jose specifically didn't want chrome trim on this truck, but he wanted to airbrush it instead. To do this, we bring in one of the best airbrush guys around to get that perfect chrome look. I know we talked about a 60 Impala trim, but I want to switch this. Gotcha. Truck. You know, I think like a 62 Impala trim is going to look the best. You know, fit the body lines of this thing the best.
You're right. No swoops or nothing. It just streamlined.
Yeah.
I think it look good too.
Hell yeah.
The yellow tape is really, I'm using it as a guide. I wanted to come off this body line, or this seam, so to speak. I wanted to come off that a certain amount of distance, and this blue fine line tape is what is going to be the definition where the simulated chrome is going to start. Once I get it laid out, then I'll start spraying in the colors as I go. All right, what I'm doing now is just mixed up some white. This will be my base for the chrome. Once this is on, I can come back with my airbrush and start putting different shades of black and blue and everything to give it that reflective look. What I'm doing now is our horizon line. So these are going to be three-dimensional looking, so they look rounded, and everything that's on the bottom side of the horizon line is going to be dark, and everything on the top side is going to be light, and that'll give the impression that it's double chrome.
I've been a junkyard kid. Basically, I grew up around hot rods. I was helping my dad in the garage, and this is pretty much what I was born to do. So here at Extensive, I'm a welder fabricator. Basically, anything Bill needs to have handled, he'll put me on a job and I'll complete the task. I've been here for about 4 years now. It's been quite a learning experience since I've been here. Every time I work with Bill, I learn something new. I couldn't ask to work with anybody smarter or better than those about fabrication, welding, or air suspension, period. When I had a chance to come work here, I jumped right on it. I told him basically I could build a space shuttle and made him laugh. Packed my stuff in garbage bags within an hour and was on the road heading to Houston to come work at this shop.
Things are coming together on Jose's C10. To make the truck pop under the hood, I've had the frame powder coated and parts of the engine polished. Now we're marrying them together.
That's it, Matt. All right, cool. Bring it down the rest of the way. All right. Good, it's there.
While the guys bolt the cab to the frame, we're going to install the hardwood into the bed. A type of wood from West Africa that looks like zebra stripes. While the bed is being finished, the rest of the team is getting the front of the truck buttoned up.
All right, hold right there.
So it's an all hands on deck situation. We're getting the truck ready for delivery, and it's out the door.
Go forward. Should be it right there, huh? Gotta kind of go low with it.
Dang, it's slippery.
Now to get the bed attached.
Going up.
We'll go ahead and bolt that bed and we can test out the trap door.
And as a final touch, Rudy's installing the actuators to lift the bed.
So this is our actuator. It's gonna pretty much open and close our trap door. We're gonna go ahead and place it here, bolt one to the frame, then one to our trap door, and this rod will pretty much push out, which is gonna lift up our trap door so we can take a look at all the good work we did on this frame. Who said we couldn't pop trunk with the truck?
Jose gets together once a month with all his boys. All of Jose's buddies are classic Impala collectors. They're a wealth of knowledge here today. And, you know, what better place to show off his Impala truck? Right here. Jose, short time ago, you had parts of a truck. You didn't have a whole truck, but you had a nice little project.
Nice project, absolutely.
Remember, no motor, no interior, missing pieces, a lot.
Missing a lot of pieces.
A lot. You wanted to bring little Impala touches into the build, into the 66. I think you're going to love it. You're going to love it.
I can't wait to see it.
Let's get old Jamie to bring it out for you.
When that door opened, it was unbelievable. Way more than I expected. Color was unbelievable.
The way the sun hit it, it just looked beautiful.
Wow.
Wow.
Very nice.
When that thing hit the floor, oh my gosh. It was like, it was wow.
That's unbelievable.
He's a great fabricator, and, you know, we handmade every part and piece of the suspension, frame, everything.
Looks good, man.
You have a one-of-a-kind 66 Chevy.
Wow. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get it to some of the local shows and maybe even some of the out-of-town shows. And I'm not worried about the trophy side of it because it's going to win. I mean, there's not another one out there like that right now.
I mean, first thing you see is the smooth bumper, grill, all color matched.
Right.
Of course, you can't miss the 24x10s in the front, 24x15s in the rear. Thing just looks like a steamroller going down the road. And of course, the Impala trim on the side.
And that had to be there. Something Impala had to be in there. Absolutely.
That airbrush looked badass.
I know y'all see that stripe on the side. Anybody guess what year? 62.
Man, you talking to Impala guys, really? You talking to Impala boys. With the airbrushing on the side, that was just an added detail that I wasn't expecting, but it sure did make it made the truck, if you ask me.
Even the door handle, man. You probably didn't even notice. It's got an Impala door handle.
I noticed. You ain't gonna get that one by me.
Wood bed. It's a zebra wood in the back, man. It's really unique, one of a kind. It is all handmade.
Zebra wood.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed. But that's good. Man, you guys really outdid yourselves. That's unbelievable.
Got you a little something special in the back, too. The switch. Got a little compartment back here where you can just show off that custom framework and all the powder coating. 9-inch rear end.
Wow, look at that. Unbelievable.
That was good.
Wow. That is unbelievable.
Jamie and I put a lot of hard work into this frame. Now Jose can open this bed up and show the world just what we created. Let's check out the interior.
Let's do it. Wow.
How pretty.
That dash, man.
Man, you guys went above and beyond what I was expecting. It's unbelievable.
That's what you wanted.
That's what I wanted. But you wanted to take my dash out of my car. That wasn't gonna happen. That Impala dash turned out pretty sick. I mean, they did a great job.
And that's what Extensive does. They do unique projects.
Let's check out the motor.
Ooh.
There you go. Wow. But is it fast?
Hell yeah, it's fast. There's 6.2 LS, 6-speed transmission. That thing does haul ass.
That's exactly what I was hoping for.
Hearing about this truck for so long and to actually see it, it was beautiful. And finally it was done. And, and he's happy.
You and the guys at Extensive did way above my expectations, man. Jamie, great job, bro.
Thanks, man.
That's unbelievable.
I know Jose really likes this handmade air suspension.
Laying it out's a big job.
Can't wait to see this thing on the ground.
I think it's bad. 2016 Lamborghini Aventador.
0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Damn, we need to get this thing a little bit lower to the ground.
The Lambo? Ain't gonna work.
It ain't, man. Y'all ready to check it out? I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal. Looks like it's on fire over here. Dorian, what's happening?
What's up, man? Spot?
Isabella and Dorian are a great couple. I'm in Houston. They've done work for me in the past, so it's only natural for them to come to me when they want a truck built. What is this?
A Grumman. It's an old bread truck.
You didn't pay anything for this, did you?
Nobody liked it, but I do. I see a lot of potential in it.
That's character.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty cool. Grumman made the first all-aluminum body delivery trucks back in the 1950s. This one from 1963 is a classic.
We want to make it our vendor truck for our apparel company.
Dorian and Isabel just started Sunday Fun Day brand, which is them selling t-shirts at car shows. They want to make this bread truck into a mobile t-shirt company. It does run, right?
I think it does run.
Man, I hope it runs. What are we doing?
Well, for sure, I want to slam the thing. As low as it can go.
Flat.
Flat on the ground.
Yep.
Laying it out's a big job.
And we have to convert it from, straight axle to independent. Probably have to change the different spindles, different rear end. I mean, it's quite a big job.
It's extremely tough to build this suspension, something that Extensive hasn't done before.
Whatever it is, we're up for it.
I like to have a vendor door.
Hinge it from the top so you have a little shade and, quite a big opening.
Inside, I want to keep a bar theme. Would like to have some shirts display in the background.
Some cabinets towards the back.
Correct.
Keep
Cabinets
for
storage. Yeah. On the outside,
very cool. It sounds like it's going to be a good, nice little project.
Do we get to try out the kegerator?
You definitely do.
Deal. So this is going to be a beer drinking, t-shirt selling machine.
Party on wheels. Since we do a lot of car shows, I would like something that is custom. Something that nobody else has.
So as far as colors?
Colors, I think we're going to do like a brush finish and a couple red accents here and there.
So wrap the outside.
Yeah, it's going to get wrapped.
It definitely grabs people's attention to sell more product.
For sure. I want every other vendor to look at us and be like, shoot, I should have gone to build too.
me some chickens in there. I had to run them off, so.
Are there chickens in there now?
Maybe.
Yeah. I know I'm not going to be the one getting rid of the smell.
He's getting rid of the smell.
Not happening.
But we definitely got a good game plan, so let's just load this thing up. We'll get going on it.
Sounds good. We should.
Bread truck.
Bread truck. It'll be all right.
Man, you know this thing's gonna be.
Hey, not me.
He already knew.
Man, look at Peaches. It's an unwritten rule at Extensive. The newest guy gets the most disgusting jobs. Good luck, Peaches.
On some projects like this, I like coming in and figuring everything out before everybody gets started. Getting a feel for what needs to be done and just kind of laying out a path for my guys to go down. You want everything you do to fit the vehicle, to add to the appeal. The world of custom is making it cool and people not really knowing why it's so cool. Timmy,
The hell's this?
it's a 63 Grumman old bread truck.
Grumman because it's grungy and ugly?
Like, a lot of bread loaves been delivered in this sucker.
They're about to fall apart. What's the plan?
You know, it doesn't matter what Dorian paid for this old truck. Whatever we build at Extensive, gets our full attention. I want to make it super custom so it can slam on the ground with in-shop, handmade air suspension. Then to hold up these 3 tons of metal year after year. We'll add a vendor door to sell.
This front end's ugly.
I mean, it is ugly. They weren't worried about any kind of style delivering bread back in 1963. We'll torch the old bumper and grill off and we'll add something with a little more style.
Make it lower, cooler, paint.
I think the best solution for a vehicle like this is just going ahead and wrapping it. I prefer paint, but that gets expensive on these corporate builds where they want to change up every 6 months. Inside is a bar theme with dark wood and displays for their t-shirts. I'll add a jump seat so husband and wife can ride together to the car shows, and a kegerator with taps on the outside for the customers.
Making money and drinking beer.
It don't get better than that. Right.
Good deal.
Ready to torch this stuff up?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Before we build anything, the guys need to tear out the wheels, the grill, and that rusty old straight axle suspension.
You have all this rust, it'd be a little bit easier to knock these bolts off.
You got your tetanus shot?
Hopefully we won't need it. Getting through this rust ain't gonna be easy.
Can't even get a wrench on the bolt.
I'm gonna go get the torch.
All right.
How much for that rusted old bolt? Shocks out. Got it. We got this lead spring on this side loose. We're gonna hop onto the other side and get that one freaking loose. That way we'll drop the whole front end off. With most of the front suspension ripped out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and start torching off the rear leaf springs and axle. Put in this new rear end and start mocking up the rear suspension.
The body on this Grumman is aluminum, which makes this body lighter, but the entire frame is steel, so it's still really big and heavy. I want to mount the big bag, back here up underneath the frame and coming down off the axle. To properly support all this weight, we're designing extra strong 4-link mounts for the suspension. As the bag inflates, it'll raise and leads out, man. We'll get it mocked up. Cool.
So I got my template that Bill gave me. We're gonna go back to the drawing board, draw it up on the computer. Let the computer cut it out on the plasma. ready for weld. And then put it back up on the truck. We're mocking up the 4-link mounts to measure where the bar needs to go.
We have to bend the bars to swing over this way so the bolts will clear the frame.
How far in do you think we're going to have to go?
1.5 inches. I got the angle figured out. I guess I can go ahead and start bending them. Now Rudy's welding in the crossbar, which supports the upper bag mount.
Rodolfo.
Hey, what's up?
Man, your weld's getting better and better and better. I see it. You putting the panhard bar on?
Yeah, so I got the crossbar on here. I know we wanted to put it further back.
Second over. The crossbar is welded in place, but now we don't have room for the panhard bar. We definitely need the panhard bar because that keeps the truck from swaying side to side.
Ain't gonna work.
It ain't. Everything custom like the air suspension on this Grumman, sometimes you don't see a problem till it's right in front of you, and the solution can actually make a better design. Tell you what, instead of tying it together like this, why don't you come off of the very bottom, come up to the center and back down, just bend the pipe, and then we'll cut the top part of the bend off so the loop will cool and be very strong, and make room for the panhard bar. I'm going to remake the center support bar for the 2 upper bag mounts so we can tie it in through the frame so that all the weight transferred throughout the bag mounts into the frame and just support it even better. Now the pipe's all bent. Take it over to the vertical bandsaw and notch it. Cut the end off the pipe. It ought to fit right in place. Perfect. Let's ground that real quick and we'll tack it up.
So we got our new bar in. This bar is going to actually be a little bit better than the one we had in there previous. Now we got plenty of room.
Our motto is bagging the best, fixing the rest. And Extensive has built its reputation on custom air suspension.
Oh, dude!
We can bag pretty much anything on wheels. Big or small, fast or slow, we can raise them up or drop them low.
The Lambo?
It's a Aventador.
That thing is bad.
This 2016 Aventador is one of Lamborghini's fastest on the market, and that really says something. 691 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. This thing is basically a race car. So when I got the call, I jumped on it.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, man.
What's up?
Good morning.
Okay.
You know, Marcos owns one of Houston's largest concrete companies. He works long hours, busts his ass, but he takes his play very seriously, which I can definitely appreciate.
This is what I got, 2016 Aventador. Every single option available from the dealer, but man, I feel like I'm missing something. I want you to, I don't know, make it stand out a little bit more.
Something to set you apart from the other 2 in Houston?
Basically.
You know, Lamborghini made a couple thousand of these cars, but guys like Marcos, he's got to have one of one.
So what you think?
Well, first thing, we need to get this thing a little... Some people say you can't drop a Lamborghini any lower because they're built with such precision, but we can do it. Definitely change the wheels out. Just something that really just sets a statement when you're going down.
I like that, dude.
Yeah.
I like that. Want to look at the inside on this thing?
Man, this thing is nice, Marcos. I don't know if I'd get too deep in it because you always constantly trading these things. Man, we don't want to devalue it at all.
For sure.
The key to customizing a Lambo is to make it stand out while retaining its value and performance. Because, come on, everybody had a Lamborghini poster in their room at some point.
Question is, how's it drive?
Yes, you need to find out.
We definitely need to check that out.
You ever seen him drive?
Can't wait to get this thing back to Extensive. This is gonna be a fun one.
Man, matches my red hat. Employee Appreciation Day?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's
You
bad.
wish, huh?
Man, what are we even gonna do to this car?
Man, we're gonna set him apart. Lamborghinis are known for their top-of-the-line engineering, so I want to compliment its performance fiber front spoiler, side blades, and wing. A set of red anodized wheels, and a new set of springs to drop this thing low as it can go.
Man, what a sharp car.
And we need to get these parts going, man. Let's get it rolling.
Got it? All right.
Speaking of rolling, this guy.
How fast were you driving?
I'm going to have Tim and John start working on the Lambo. And I ain't even got to tell you, we got to be super, super careful. No mistakes.
Right.
Literally can't afford any mistakes on this thing.
We're bolting the old yellow stock springs off these struts, and we're going to be installing some new lowering springs that will allow this Aventador to go even lower. Got you a present, buddy. Not only that, we're going to color match these lowering springs to match the car. While we're waiting on paint, John and I are removing the stock carbon fiber pieces. Before we did anything, it was already scraping the ground. And of course, Bill
is already lower than that one. Man, that's gonna be awesome.
Tim and John are installing a lower, wider front lip on Marcos's 2016 Lamborghini.
My helper, you got it. I got it.
It's designed to decrease air pressure and reduce drag.
Extra careful, Tim.
When you're bolting on the carbon fiber pieces, you need to be really careful. Real lightweight, but the stretch is super easy. If something goes wrong, you just can't really fix it, so that's what sucks. Now we've installed carbon fiber blades, it's time to put on the wheels. The red and the black are going to offset the black windows, red paint.
We got to mount this face down, so the fun part is lining these jaws up in between these spokes so they don't make contact with them.
Do it.
Tight, tight, tight. Really, really close. Gonna change the whole appearance of it once they're mounted up on there.
It'd be badass.
Lowered.
Yeah, let's check it out.
With the wheels in place, we're going to lower the body to just above the danger zone.
Look a lot better.
Hell yeah.
The shop did a great job knocking out the lowering springs real quick, and the red gives it the extra flair we're looking for. And we get these on, we can adjust the front suspension, and we will drive this thing.
Who's taking it first, you or me?
I'll take it for the weekend. You can have it next week.
That'd be wore out by then.
These new springs have the tension and the length to drop the Lambo to the ground. But I wouldn't recommend it. About 3 inches.
You gonna measure it as I'm dropping it?
And we're about 4 inches right now, John.
Okay.
See if we can adjust it a little bit more. Get about 1 inch out of it, and that'll be perfect.
All right.
John's adjusting the springs in the front. When we adjusted the rear, we don't want it sitting like this. So we're gonna take the front down to the same amount and just be 1 inch lower all the way around.
A little more. Tighten it right there. All right, let me tighten it up real quick. What are we looking like?
I think we're good all the way around. It measures out. What we'll do is let it drive around a little bit and settle. We'll double check everything. Other than that, I think we're good.
It's been a busy few days at Extensive. We're almost done fabricating the suspension on the Grumman bread truck. So how was the day last night?
It went good until the transmission went out.
Transmission went out.
Dude, she did help push.
She might be a keeper then, huh?
Yeah.
We did good on the back suspension, Rudy. Let's get this front in and get this thing going down the road. We're securing the new cross mirror by welding it directly to the frame.
Ah, what up? That one got in my pants.
This will make it strong enough to support the front suspension.
Gotta make one more little cap here. Let's see it.
Now that John and Rudy have locked the crossmember in place, we'll mock up the rest of the system with the wheels and tires.
Jeez. I think I'm bloated.
Come on, man, let's get it mocked up. Crossmembers in. We got the wheel where we need it. The next step is building the lower control arm. So let's just mock it up real quick with some tubing. The control arm connects the wheel to the frame down the road. Rudy, you already know what to do, man. Take it over the table and make 2 lowers.
We're gonna use the mock up here to set up a jig. So the main thing here, I need to replicate the same angle. So whenever the arm travels, it's gonna have enough room to go up and down, and a ball joint won't bind up. This is gonna be the key part of this control arm here. Once I get this figured out, and situated and tacked up, then I just go ahead and start building the actual arms.
Because the Grumman is so heavy, we need to make them extra strong at a 1-inch Schedule 80 tubing. Once the bag is bolted to the control arm, it'll pivot on the cross member, and the truck will lower down once the bag is deflated. Man, that looks good. Wheel stays straight, camber's staying perfect. I mean, all the way up, all the way down. I can't stand when you let the air out of something and just the crate looks broke. You know, that's the advantage of building the pivot points where you want them in the suspension, because you can just keep the control arms going perfect. Let it down one more time. Going to be a badass bread truck. Because the bumper and grill stick out, the front of this bread truck never looked right to me. This old Grumman needs to have a custom grill. The old grill just wasn't cutting it. When you see a car coming at you, one of the first things you see is the grill, so it kind of sets the tone for the whole vehicle. You want something with a little style to it. I'm gonna start by drawing out a new perimeter for the new grill and have Rudy burn it out. That's the definition of custom, is you want clean, smooth, flowing lines that fits it perfect and not too gaudy or flashy. That's really gonna set this whole front of this whole truck off. It's like a mouth, huh? With some teeth in it. All right, we're ready for Rudy to transfer the dimensions of the grill to the plasma cutter. He'll burn it out of 1/2-inch aluminum. To add a little extra style, you get John to bevel the edges.
When the plasma cut this piece out, it cut it at a beveled angle. So I'm gonna use a flush trim bit to follow the very top edge, and that's gonna cut all this extra slag and stuff off, square this piece up, make it nice and smooth and neat. After I get it smoothed up and flushed, I'll build around the outside of it and actually put a shape to it. All right, 1 Grumman grill, ready for polish.
With the suspension built, John's installing the air compressors. These compressors will enable this big old truck to raise up or lay all the way on the ground.
All right, we should be good right there. This is a supply line for the rocker switches and this air gauge, which we'll be mounting right here. And the rocker switch is right here, right under the gauge. And this one will control your up and down movement. And once this is all done, we'll be able to get all 6,500 pounds lifted up.
Man, I can't wait to see this thing on the ground. This thing was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Drop it?
Man, you do the honors here.
Tear it up?
Yeah. You ready to drop it?
Sir.
You got power?
Yep.
The Grumman bread truck needed an extra large, completely custom suspension system. Now to see it flat out for the very first time. John, you ready?
Yes, sir.
We've been waiting a long time for this.
Ready?
Man, let's do it.
looks good.
I'd love to say we're almost done, but man, we're not even close. All right. John and Heath have a huge task ahead, making this bare aluminum look like a neighborhood pub. At least it doesn't smell like chickens anymore.
You know what's next? Cut a hole and turn on the air conditioner. Yeah.
That has to go up there. I don't know how in the hell we're gonna get that up there. All right, the awkward elephant walk.
I don't know about this, man. Look at that roof.
I know.
It's already sagging.
That's why you're gonna crawl on there, not me.
This will be fun.
All right, I'm gonna get underneath, see if we can line this sucker up.
It's like urban surfing up here.
Right there, we're good.
I bet it looks terrible on the roof under there.
John, you gotta come check this out, brother. We gotta figure out something.
Oh man, that's terrible. Thing's sagging bad. It's gonna leak like a sieve.
I think we can go in here and make some braces, man, that come from this beam to this beam. Straight across, pop that sucker up. That way it'll strengthen this roof back up from all the crap we cut out of there. You don't have that issue.
Yeah, and it'll hold the weight of the unit better.
Yeah.
That'll probably work.
Done deal.
Oh yeah. Science. Science. All right, let's get this wall put up. We'll move on to the roof.
We cut each board separately because we keep the grain going through the whole piece. So we have to cut each full-length piece into separate sections. We're attaching the wood with a combination of glue and nails. It's not our usual interior, but it's gonna look pretty kick-ass.
I think that's about as far as we can go.
I'll let you do the honors today, Timmy. Dorian and Isabel want to sell t-shirts and apparel for their company Sunday Fun Day, so we're going to cut a vendor door in the side of the garage. Hell yeah.
Hurry, see this door fits.
We're securing this pre-made door for easier access,
like a glove,
and a quick install. Alright?
Yes, sir, how can I help you? I'm selling tacos, ice cream, t-shirts, and... Hey, it's talking to you.
Tim and John are bolting a new wing on the Lamborghini. Then it's good to go. You know, I hate seeing this one go, but Marcos wants it back. To deliver this 2016 Lamborghini back to Marcos, I asked him to meet me at the local airport.
Hold on, Bill.
What's up, man?
You know, the reason I picked this spot, there's a lot of open runways, and Marcos can get down on it.
I'm ready, dude. I'm ready.
I think you're really going to be impressed with this.
Oh, man. Look at that thing, dude. Wow. That's awesome, dude. Look at that front, bro. Man. Oh, dude. You gotta be kidding me, dude. That thing even go lower, dude. Man, Bill, you went above and beyond, brother. Oh, dude. Tim. What the hell, dude?
Look a little different.
Man, you guys, they did it awesome. Man, dude.
Low enough for you?
I wasn't expecting that low. That was cool, man. Look at those wheels. You went above and beyond on those wheels, dude.
You see the stance, man. We had to make that thing a little lower, man. You
For sure.
Too much fender well gap.
All I can tell you, go through extensive, it goes down.
Man, the other thing, remember in the back when you look through the wing right here?
Right.
Man, we got you some different ones. And then Bill couldn't let them go black, so he painted them to match the car to give a little bit different touch.
That looks
cool as hell, dude.
Just to stand you apart from everybody else.
Definitely.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Bill just did the right thing for me. I mean, it was just perfect. Looks really cool on the outside, dude. But how this thing drives now?
Let's go see.
Was it worth the wait?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, suspension, it feels great, dude. It feels like better than what they used to be.
Hell yeah.
I was kind of worried a little bit. I mean, every time that anybody tell you, I'm going to mess with that suspension on you, Lamborghini, you know, it's like, what?
There's a huge belief out there lowering a car, especially a sports car, hurts the performance. Man, I love proving naysayers wrong.
So what you think, man? Is this what you wanted?
This is awesome,
Ready to do this, Timmy?
The front end design hasn't changed since delivering bread in 1963. New grill and bumper.
Let's take this off. We'll cut the little lip off. Roll this in the roller, the same as this.
Then we can roll the grill. Let's do it. I'm gonna roll this lower panel to fit the curve on the front of the bread truck. My dad's old 1920s roller is still coming in handy. It looked just like this in exactly this condition as long as I can remember. Now that it's curved to the front of the truck, that'll work. We'll secure it with a few rivets and get going on the bumper. The 63 Grumman now has a completely handmade custom suspension. To make a stronger first impression, we grabbed an old Chevy bumper that I think will work. Now we just need to make it fit.
The body will be pretty much like this when we're done. But right now, as you can see, we're hitting here. So we need to remove this excess frame rail. Now this looks more like a modern bumper.
Okay, turn it. All right, hold it there real quick. Yeah, I think we got it, Timmy. We got the bumper where it needs to be, right width. Got it split down the middle. Now we just need to come in, fill this 5-inch little gap. That'll bring everything together. When we're done, this new bumper is going to look like it should have been designed this way. I like it, man. It's way, way nicer, all sucked in, pushed back. And it fits really, really good to the truck. Looks like it came that way from the factory. The only seat in the delivery truck was the driver's seat. Because this is for a husband and wife team, we're going to add another. So we're making support beams to tie a jump seat into.
Dipping the toilet cooler.
We're using square tubing in place so we can bolt it in the truck.
What you got, Timmy?
The welder. This will go right there. I'll cut 2 pieces from the center.
Let's do it.
Got me a job now. Very important part of the build.
Tim is building the center. Bolt this seat in place. Come on, man. Just hold this sucker in.
Up a little bit, right there.
A few welds here and there, and it's good to go. Now you can sit on it.
It's good, man. So I think it'll hold the weight of a grown-ass man?
I guess we got the one to try it out. What do you think, Tim?
Come on, man. Let's get on there.
See what she does. Good luck. Ain't going nowhere. Hold my hand.
It was only rated for 180 pounds.
Well, you made it better because it held 300.
Because this is a corporate build, we really want the customers to see this thing from a mile away. We've created a great design, and it's a huge challenge wrapping this entire bread truck, but John and Jose are definitely up for it.
With these old builds, there's a lot of issues that come up. This one, it's not completely flat.
There's a lot of different curves, different shapes, small body work here and there, some hinges and bolts that we have to work around. There's nothing that we can't handle. Once the vinyl's all installed and it's all matched up, we use a little heat and our squeegees and work down every seams and body panels and QC it, and then we're done. Yeah, this is gonna look sick.
Dorian and Isabel want to serve beer out of this truck, so I asked Heath and John to install taps for the kegerator.
Just cut a hole, put an extra tap out here, that way we can party on the outside while they party on the inside. Yeah, that'll work. Let's get the keg in here and get to drinking some beer. We got these in. Now we'll just get inside. We're gonna plumb up our taps. You got it? Yeah, we got it. Tied into the kegerator so that we get beer all the way to the back. All we got is one vital component left. The keg to the liquor store. Let's get it.
There's one more part I need fabricated for the grill. Hold up. Man, I need you on this. Like, immediately. Jesse's my man to get it done. It's going to be pretty difficult welding this thing, man, because you got the real thick aluminum to the real thin aluminum. So just concentrating the heat on this without just totally distorting this whole thing is going to be difficult.
This will mess us up. Do we have another piece?
No, but hurry up.
If I mess this one up, it's going to set us back about a day or two or more. When I start to TIG, I got to feed the rod into it at the same time as I'm pushing in with the torch. That way they can fuse together before the mist starts melting and messing up the grill.
One and done. Jesse did a great job as usual. Now to paint this thing black to tie in with the wrap.
Make it look good, man.
Okay. Before painting the grill, Harold's body working out every nick and scratch.
Just got out of the shop, headed to pick up a neon sign for the bread truck we're building. Luckily, I get to get out and see Houston. I have to constantly be on top of these parts. When the guys are building vehicles, they need parts.
Is everything?
Man, it's everything. And if they don't have the parts when they're ready to put it on, then it costs time. And time is money. So basically, my job before they need it. My entire life, I've been in and around shops, specifically working on trucks. So it's really cool working at Extensive. Being affiliated with a shop that's known all over the world, man, it just doesn't get any better than that.
How you doing, Spot? Got me ready to roll?
Think so? Oh man, that looks super cool. Dude, it's exactly what we wanted. Very cool.
Before we give this bread truck back to Dorian and Isabel, as a t-shirt selling machine, there's a couple more things we need to check off our list.
We got the truck all wrapped up. Now we just have one more thing to do, is just add the wrap to the wheels. Pretty much the whole theme of the vehicle is red and black. There's not much left on it that's polished, so just to help tie in with the whole theme itself, we're adding the same graphic design to the wheels itself.
Man, that looks good, huh? I know it's a lot of work, Timmy, but man, when it's coming down the road at you, right? Let's get the grill on this thing and top it off. Man, Timmy, this thing looking good.
That looks real good. Kind of completes the whole truck.
I'm super excited to see what the truck looks like. I have a vision for it, and I knew if anyone could make this happen, it would be Bill.
I asked Dorian and Isabel to meet me at the Eighth Wonder Brewery in downtown Houston. Every weekend they host an event here. Vendors are selling food, drinks, you name it. Very soon there'll be a one-off custom truck selling Sunday Fun Day t-shirts. Hey, thank you guys for bringing all the merchandise today. Soon it'll have a nice home in the new van.
Good. I'm tired of hauling that in the back of our truck.
Yeah. Y'all ready to check it out?
Yeah. Please. He's mad.
I'm shaking.
When that thing hit the floor, man, they loved it.
Oh my God, this thing looks amazing. He went way beyond my expectations.
What's up? Y'all ready to sell some shirts? How you doing? Good.
You know, Rudy, as well as everybody at the shop, they always come through. I mean, this is just a prime example of just teamwork and my guys making it happen.
Yes.
Great.
And we started off by doing the air suspension on it. We converted the front straight axle to independent, handmade every part and piece of it. When this big old truck pulls up, slams to the ground, you can't help but take notice.
So excited to take it to shows.
Custom-made wheels for this truck. And to give it the wow factor, we made a whole new bumper and grill. So the front of this truck is sleek and streamlined.
Looks amazing.
Got the whole side out and vendor door on the side so you can sell all your product. You know, Pixelworks did a great job wrapping it.
2 colors, embossed, printed everywhere. That blew my mind.
Of course, we have your
beer
tabs for you. Everything on it is going to help you promote your business and draw people to it.
Yeah, this is everything we've ever wanted. This is everything that we need. I just can't wait to get in there and start selling our merchandise. This is amazing.
You open the door, those guys were just blown away. I mean, they had no idea. You know, you wanted the bar feel.
Yeah. Yes.
So
this is awesome.
This is crazy.
Don't smell any more chickens in there.
This is amazing.
The whole interior with the wood inside, how they redid everything just real nice and subtle. It looks awesome.
I knew you guys were the ones to come to help us out with this build.
I think she likes it.
I think it's awesome, man.
You guys ready to check out the taps?
Yeah!
Well, cool. Let's get the product loaded up. We're ready to sell some. Here you go, buddy.
Once we open up our doors, the people just flooded the truck. Do you have like extra small or small? Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Today is a great day. I mean, it's making them some money. I mean, that's what we built it for. That's what they need. It's out of whack. It's totally smashed in.
This core support piece, we got a big gap.
We'll see what this thing can do.
What's up, man? I need to be able to get this bike in the back of this truck.
There ain't no way you can do that safely. But we can make it happen by building you a custom air suspension trailer.
This is actually my first one to build, so no pressure.
That is awesome, bro.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
For the most part, we do client builds here at Extensive. But I've been looking for a nice project to build a Baja truck out of, maybe even make a few. You got to start by buying it really, really low. My buddy Dave said he's got a truck for me that I have to come see. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Bill? Good to see you.
Dave deals in vehicles that he buys at auctions. Most are ready to drive off the lot. Some are just a little bit more than parts. When buying a vehicle like this, you have to do your due diligence. This it?
Yeah, that's it. It's hurt.
Does look a little hurt.
Yeah, it got hit hard.
Hard.
You wasn't playing.
What happened with this truck?
They don't tell me what happened at the auction, but it just got wrecked. It's got low miles, though. Real low miles.
What's real low miles?
633.
Oh, man.
Good rear end, good motor, transmission.
Man, it looks good for parts.
Man, still got the new car smell.
Oh, yeah, she's new.
Just don't got new car look.
Man, this interior's so new, we don't even have to do anything to it.
You know, I was going to go ahead and salvage it, use the motor and transmission in one of my trucks.
Oh, no, man. We can put this thing back together.
You think so?
This 2017 F-150 rolled off the factory floor with a 5.0-liter Coyote V8 engine. It's the perfect starting platform for what I want to build. Man, you can see the bed still straight with the cab. There's nothing wrong with the back of the frame. It's just the front. Man, I'm seeing making this thing into a Baja truck.
A Baja truck?
We can jump it.
Jump it?
Yeah, man.
Man, this thing is missing a lot, Bill.
Well, that's where you come in, buddy.
Bill's not the kind of guy to scare easy. And seriously, I don't think there's anything he can't build. But this one needs a ton of parts and fixes. And on our dollar, that's what really scares me. Man, I didn't know we were picking it up to build. I thought this was parts.
Yeah, that's what I admire a lot about Bill. He always sees things that other people don't. It is brand new, Bill, but it's in pretty bad shape.
That means it's cheap for me, right?
Yeah, we can run a special. We always do.
Man, we're going to get it running. And you can come check it out, man. You can be there when it happens.
I'd like to be there. Let me know.
I trust you, but do you really want to take this pile home?
Come on, man, of course. Yep. Most of the time, you should just strip a truck like this for parts, but I've been doing this a long time. You see the right truck? It's endless possibilities. We're going to turn a pile of bent-up crap into something that's going to be really cool, man. I've been wanting to build a Baja pre-runner style truck for a while. Street legal truck, you can race and jump. This truck is a perfect thing. We gotta launch it.
By launch?
So,
how high are you talking?
Man, at least this high. Yup. You know, Baja truck is just made to take any terrain it can possibly go through. Sand, mud, gravel. That's what a truck like this is built for. Just the aggressive stance. You look at it, it just looks pissed off. It's in bad shape. I mean, you see, that's immediately what you see. To me, half of it's here. That's a head start. What better way to get a truck like this, very little money, and turn it into something really cool and able to jump up into the air.
Well, Timmy, here she is.
What are we doing with this? Taking the motor out, trans out, wheels, tires off. A couple of doors look good.
Come on, man. We're gonna build a Baja truck.
Out of this.
Out of this. The truck is brand new. And on this, we're gonna have a little bit higher ground clearance in the front than the rear to go off-road, to jump things, and still be able to drive it on the street every day. Big wide fenders to go along with those suspensions, so the control arms and everything have to be really long to be able to jump. Wide bed sides in the back just for that aggressive look. Bed cage in the back, big, huge shocks. We're gonna give this thing a second life and even better than it ever rolled off the assembly line. Spares in the back, we want the whole Baja look. I'm gonna drive it around. Who knows, somebody might need it in their life.
So you're gonna drive like Bill, and we're gonna drive it to the max. Anything we fix after that is roadworthy 100% because you drive,
hell yeah,
200% worse than anybody I know. Or nothing breaks, we'll just keep it as a shop truck.
Take it to lunch every day.
Lunch, Bill's credit card for gas.
No?
I'll sell it then.
He thinks he's gonna sell it when he finishes it? I'll believe it when I see it.
Looking at this truck, you can tell it got hit really hard in the front passenger side, and it's obvious we're going to replace body panels, but man, we need to tear this thing down and see what kind of frame damage there is. The back's good. I don't have any concern at all with this. Let's get the front of this thing all tore apart.
Front end looks a little bit jacked up. You wouldn't even call it a front end.
It's like somebody had already started repairing it. I seen it all wrapped up. Now I see it got hit way harder than I thought it did. Man, the whole throttle body's missing.
Probably gonna need a new one anyways. Get some power.
Well, let's get it tore apart, man. Let's see what else. Let's see what else we need. Dang. You see the little charcoal canister is totally busted. The deep gouge in the cross member, gouge in the transmission pan. The front of the frame is totally out of whack. You can tell somebody's already tried to repair it. I'm nervous about how the uncompleted repair job is done. Hopefully from the point they repaired back is all good. But we won't know anything until we run the string line and go from there. We're going old school to measure the straightness of the frame. You know, plumb bob's just a tool of just knowing if you have a straight line or not. Sometimes you don't have a point you can just run a tape measure right off of. So if you drop a plumb bob, which is just a weighted string, that gives you a perfectly level string to measure off of. So you can measure from each side of the frame to the plumb bob to know if you're perfectly center on that. If it lines up with your horizontal string, you know you're
off by an eighth.
At the same time, we'll level this thing. So the level will tell us if it's out of whack this way, and the string line will tell us if everything's completely straight that way.
It go up a little bit on the passenger side. Pretty good. Check out that front truck. Aha, it's out of whack.
Make it level. Let me see how far off it is. The front end is definitely tweaked a little bit. It's a little off center. We want this thing to drive perfectly straight down the road. We want everything 100% in line, no alignment issues. We don't want it pulling off to one side or another. We're going to be abusing this thing. Well, I am. We're going to put it to the test. So I want to make sure everything's going to hold up to what we're going to throw at it. Thing we need to do on the F-150 is repair the frame. It's not just the damage from the accident, but the bad repair job. Elu's going to cut that out. We're going to start all over. Down. There. All right, perfect. Elu's got all this cut loose. It lines up perfect with our string line. Plumb bob is 100%. It's perfectly level. Last step is just weld this thing up. Man, Lulu, that looks real good, man. Can't even tell anything ever even happened to it. It's just not the frame needs to be fixed, but the whole passenger side core support was damaged in the accident. So Rudy's going to pull off the bad piece and install a new one.
This F-150 has been in a real bad accident. So what we found was this core support piece, it should be nice and straight here and then curve out. But as you can tell, if we put a straight edge here on the straight part, we got a big gap here. So a little gap here is going to create an even bigger gap here on the end. So we're going to go ahead and pull this piece out, bring in a new piece. It's nice and straight. And that way, when our fenders go on, they should bolt up nice and perfect. So the core support is the structural frame of the front end. Our headlights, radiator, grille, bumper, all that bolts up. It needs to be nice and straight for everything to fit perfect. We got our new core support fender piece in. As you can see, this one's nice and straight. So we'll go ahead and bolt it all up. After that, we'll be good to go.
As much as anything else, I think we're in the problem-solving business. And today, Chad and Melinda, they got a good one for us. They own a local bar and restaurant, and they build their own custom bikes, and they paint everything orange. I mean, everything.
What's up, man?
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Good, man.
Known Bill for about 15 years. One of the first trucks that I ever worked on. Bill did the air ride suspension on it for me.
What you got here? This new one you built?
Yeah, we got it done not too long ago. It's a 08 Road King that we built. Put the 30-inch front wheel on it, fully bagged it out. Of course, our orange color on it.
Man, it looks good.
Thank you. But we're having a little issue. I need to be able to get this bike in the back of this truck. So I need to come up with some type of ramp system, some kind of mechanism that'll fold out, something.
Man, come on. You can't be... There ain't no way you could do that safely.
Got to figure out a way to get it hauled.
Some air suspension trailer that it can drop completely flat on the ground. You can ride this bike right up on it, strap it down, easy and safe.
A custom trailer. That sounds expensive.
What's expensive is dropping this off of a ramp coming out of the back of this truck or hurting yourself.
Bill's vision is just different than anybody else's. When it comes to metalwork, he's a true artist. My thing is, of course, is go with the orange theme. Everything's got to match.
Hell yeah. We can powder coat it orange, no problem. Put some black wheels on it. Make everything flow and match and look totally custom.
You good with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool, man. Let's go right up. Let's get you going, man. You can't be having no ramp. Come on.
All right, let's do it.
Back in 2000, I had an idea for an air suspension motorcycle trailer that is set completely flat on the ground. Had a bike, didn't have a truck at the time, so problem solved, air suspension trailer.
A lot of people just see a steel rack, but when you have a steel rack, it's endless possibilities of what you can build.
Anybody that's ever put a motorcycle in back of a truck, they know how sketchy it is and how dangerous and how much it's going to cost. And this just solves all the problems, just makes it super easy. Ride the bike right up on it, strap it down, air it up, and you're on your way.
Jamie's one of our best fabricators and a biker himself, so he's going to help me build this trailer.
Thanks, man.
Each and every one of these trailers start out on the same template, but we customize each one depending on the style and size of the bike. And this one, it's got to be orange.
So there's a lot of tube on this trailer. It's probably about maybe close to 60 foot. It needs to be pretty strong to hold up his bike. It's a pretty heavy bike. So everything needs to be cut exactly. There's a lot of angles on this trailer. If I get one of them wrong, it could look crooked. It could not be the same on each side. I need to ditto each side and make everything perfect to the jig. So it's real important all my cuts fit nicely. This is actually my first one to build, so no pressure.
Me and Jamie worked late into the night to make this custom trailer for Chad and Melinda. The frame is mostly welded up. Now it's time for the airbags. Jamie cut one of two suspension links, so we're going to put this bar through it, and then it's going to pivot on the bolt. This is actually going to be the suspension to the trailer. So you see there's no traditional trailer axle going all the way through it. The spindle of the wheel is going to be right here mounted. We're going to trim it all down so the fender will weld right to it, but that's it. When this thing's all done, it's going to be years and years of trouble-free towing.
There you go, man.
Hell yeah. Tack it. All right, cool. Hell yeah. This is the same basic system we use on our cars and our trucks. And you can see when you put air in this, as soon as you hit a switch, the valve opens, air goes right into the bag, lifts the arm up, trailer raises. So that's basically the whole suspension in this thing. Now to fit the big wheels. Get that up there, a few quick measurements, and start wrapping it up. We don't
have a fixture for this, so every one of these are custom to the wheel, the tire, everything varies on this. So we build everything one off. And you see the links we go to make sure everything looks 100% straight. Jump up, measure that real quick. Nobody's gonna notice if it's 100% perfect, but they're damn sure gonna notice if it's crooked.
Nah, that's perfect.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now that the frame is straight, we're going to install a long travel suspension on this F-150, which is specially designed for the pre-runners.
Knowing Bill, I know he's going to drive this out of this thing. So these control arms need to be long, strong, and sturdy, which they are. It's going to be perfect for giving us that suspension travel to make sure we don't roll this thing over. It's the last thing this truck wants to do.
We're installing the coilovers and shock. A coilover is a shock and spring compacted into one unit. This allows adjustment for no preference. Of course, Bill's gonna go with the biggest shock he can. He needs the biggest shock to have the softest landing.
Push it down at the same time.
The shocks keep the truck from bouncing, so it sticks to the road better, no matter how bumpy the road gets.
We got our whole setup here installed. Our spindle, our lower control arm, upper control arm, our coilovers, and our shocks. Our wheel is going to stick out pretty far out from the body due to our longer control arms. Give us a little bit more travel on our suspension. As much travel as we can get, the better for us.
Now, Elu and Rudy are installing the brakes. This thing is going to take a beating. It's very important to have super strong stainless steel brake lines.
We don't want the line getting kinked up or ripped up, because if the brake line breaks loose and gets cut, this thing ain't stopping. We really need this brake line to work.
Elu is installing the limiting strap. The limiting strap keeps the suspension all nice and tight, so when you leave the ground, it just won't overextend and get all in a bind.
Now that I have all the limited strap mounted and the brake line mounted, well, the next step is to mount these reservoirs that are just hanging out right now, but we're gonna fasten them down for whenever he's up in the air, they won't be all over the place.
That's in. That's perfect.
The frame on this F-150 is good as new. To turn this thing into a pre-runner, we're going to add some reinforcements. 4,000-pound truck landing nose first, it's going to take a beating. So we want to build a brace goes from tower to tower. So when we jump this thing, the towers just don't fold in. They're so tall, and that's a ton of leverage coming down.
Sounds good.
We'll roll a piece, an inch and a half, schedule 80, something real heavy, and then we'll bend it so it gives it a nice little contour, little style to it. All right, man. Let's get my little notepad out here. Got 9 and 7 kids. And roll it, and we'll just lay it out on the table. I just want a little bit of.
More, you try that thing.
No, that's good. Just don't want it straight. Want a little style to it. But going off the little quick, simple sketch and the measurements I took off the truck, I'm just transferring it over onto a piece of paper so it's actual size. Set my angle on the old computer here. As long as I transferred my measurements to my paper correct, it should fit perfect. First time. Should. This machine uses a hydraulic piston to force a precise bend into our pipes. I say that's it. Now we just gotta cut it. We got our marks. Next step, chop it up, put it on. Think it's gonna fit, Lulu?
Wow, we find out in a minute. We set it down.
Man, that'll work. With this being bent so much, it makes it weak here. When you bend a pipe, it weakens it a little, so I'm gonna double it up and make this thing super strong. Let's bend one more. We'll kind of lean them apart and we'll have extra strength, man, for jumping.
Oh yeah, it'll be a lot stronger.
That's it, man. That looks good. Let's tack it.
thing's gonna be super strong, Lulu. That's never gonna fold up on us. Right in the middle of this, man, to hold all this together, it'll be pretty tight.
The engine brace for the F-150 is almost ready. Rudy's burning out a plate so we can tie this thing all together. It's gonna be super strong.
It's all ready to go. Go ahead and hand it off to Bill. You can go ahead and weld it on the Baja truck.
What's that look? Man, that looks good, Rudy. Tack this thing in.
We're just gonna pull this thing off, take it over the table, weld it up. This is one of the things that nobody's ever gonna see, but I know it's there. Every part and piece of this is done right. And that's how we did it. All welded up, ready to go to the powder coater. Because we're turning this truck into a Baja style pre-runner, it has longer front suspension. It's gonna make the wheels stick out farther than the factory fender wells. So I'm having Charlie and Fernando modify the fenders and the bedsides to make this thing all fit.
Being that Bill wants to jump this thing, we need to make sure we've got a ton of clearance in here, so that way that when he does jump, there is clearance and the tires don't hit the inner wheel wells and he doesn't have a problem with that. So the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna drill out all the rivets that they have in here holding this out, and then we'll remove this outer shell, and then once we remove that, we'll trim it all off, and we'll use a piece of this to actually keep it extended out, and then we'll build our own wheel well and make it all uniform. This piece is already all mocked in of where we think we want it at, and so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring the fiberglass bedside in and double check everything, check our measurements, make sure they're all good to go so we can continue on with the rest of the form of the fender weld. Looking in here, you can see how we made everything mount to the factory edge, so when you look at it all in one piece, it just, everything flows in like if it was made that way. You know, once we get it all mounted and attached to there, you ain't gonna know that we ever even did this. Look where we're going. All right, thanks guys, appreciate it, man.
Charlie's laying out the fiberglass mat to mend this thing all together. It's gonna be super strong and super light. Fernando is filling in all the little cracks and crevices with body filler, so it's gonna be and we just got this thing back from powder coat. Everything looks good as it always does. Chad is gonna be ecstatic. It matches with everything in his collection. So just gonna put everything in this tongue box. All the essentials to make this thing work is all right here. Cool, what we got so far, obviously the battery, air compressor, and 3 sets of valves. So we have a valve for the tongue, a valve for the left, a valve for the right. No matter what the load is, if it's an offset load, you can add a little more pressure to the left. Or if you got a little more weight on the right, you add a little more pressure to the right. Ready for that tank. Yeah. Cool, we got everything mounted in place. Only thing left to do is just wiring and run some lines. That's it. Every Sunday. They're going to be showing up here any minute to his new bar, so I figured what better place to give him his trailer.
That's freaking awesome. Man, damn, bro, that's freaking sick. I didn't even imagine this, bro. That's over the top.
So good.
That is insane.
So you gotta have the orange and black, I know.
Man, you know, I wouldn't accept it if it wasn't. So it's perfect.
It's full air suspension. Of course, you know, it has 3 bags. It has a bag on each wheel and a bag on the tongue. So you can leave this thing hooked up to any vehicle and drop this thing completely flat. So it's super stable. You know, you ride your bike right up on it, strap it down, air it up, you're good to go.
It doesn't get much better than that, bro.
Yeah, man.
When we talked about doing something like this, that's why we went to Bill. You know, I knew he'd come up with something that would work perfect for us, and just the fact that he can, you know, build something out of nothing is amazing.
Check it out. Let me show you how to work this thing.
Yeah, let's check this thing out.
Everything's inside here. All the switches. You see the tank, compressor, valving. Everything is all in here. Hit the two switches. Air the back up.
That's freaking awesome. That is awesome, bro. Man, that's insane. Oh, when Bill hit the switches, I mean, that was really cool.
Yeah.
For it to be three different bags, 3 different switches, you know, all fully adjustable, to be able to work behind any vehicle that we pull it behind is going to be really cool. Definitely feel safe putting my bike on it. And the last thing to see is how it fits on the trailer.
Yeah, hopefully it fits.
There you go.
Wow.
Man, that's insane.
Man, when Chad rode that bike up on the trailer, it's obvious it's 100% package complete now.
Perfect match.
Bro, that's insane.
That looks really good.
Man, this is way better than ramps, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
And cooler.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Definitely cooler. It definitely flows.
Put this thing up, man. See how it picks it up.
8 voyage.
Oh, wow.
That is
So glad you got that.
Ready to go.
Yeah, this looks really good. The bike, the trailer, the truck. You did a fantastic job.
That's awesome, bro.
I am so happy that we had Bill build this for us. It just looks amazing, and I'm super excited to get it out on the road.
Now with the front suspensions all installed on the Baja, it's time to get that rear end in. But I'm just hanging off the back. Make sure the truck don't go forward. Good? Oh, we got to remove the factory leaf springs, but everything's in the way. The gas tank is coming off, and we're moving the exhaust just to get to that one bolt to get the springs out. You're good.
This is our factory leaf spring, and this is our new spring we got right now. You can see the difference. One's way thicker than the other one. Our new leaf springs packed with a whole lot more leaves for better absorption, whereas our factory one only has about 3. So this was pretty much made for potholes, and this was made for big ass jumps. And now we got the leaf springs on. We're gonna go ahead and throw the rear end on there and bolt it up. Whoop. All right, hold it. Get that side fastened down. We got the U-bolt plates. Hang on for a second, Rudy. When you're down on your luck, just hang in there.
Mesh in. All we need to do now is install the shocks, new wheels and tires, and it's ready for a test run. The rear leaf springs on the Baja F-150. I love how this thing's turning out with the big shocks, 16 inches of travel, attached to the new long travel leaf springs. I can't wait to get the big wide fenders on it and go test this thing out. Matter of fact, we'll put the wheels on it, go see what this thing can do. The stock tires just aren't going to cut it, so we're replacing it with 37-inch high-performance off-road tires. I really want to see how the suspension does, how it reacts when it hits bumps and dips, and there's all kind of little fine-tuning tricks that you can do to this type of suspension. But, don't know till you really put your foot to the floor and see what kind of reaction you get out of the truck itself, putting bigger tires on it. It's always a concern for not enough power. I call this the spot test.
Spot size.
That was fun. definitely some tuning on the shocks, but we got to get this thing up in the air, at least over spot. I mean, it shouldn't be very hard to do. We need a lot more power and a lot bigger jump. When I get back, I'm calling Justin and put me one bad turbo system on here, man. What's up, man?
So it's Carlton.
So I want to launch this thing, and it just don't have the power to do what we need to do.
Well, good thing you got this Coyote motor, man. These 5.0s are good platforms. We can do a single turbo, something that'll come in, hit hard, hit like nitrous, man. It'll be good for this pre-runner build. You can see about 20 horsepower per pound of boost.
It'll be enough for Bill.
No Bill, man, no telling.
What's the plan?
What we can do is we can use the factory flanges, and we can build from those flanges forward to our turbo.
All right, I guess we'll start taking that exhaust down.
Since we're going to tie into the factory manifolds, it's easier just to go ahead and use the factory OEM flanges and build from this point forward. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut these off, and we're going to try to save it where we can use these O2 bones so we can use the factory flanges. Matt, this one should be ready, man.
This is a good start.
We're going to start working on the hot side, which is everything on the turbine side of their turbocharger. Buddy Matt, he's going to start on the cold side, which is like the intake and the discharge off the compressor housing. The hot side of this turbo kit is what feeds the turbine wheel. That's where, I guess, the magic happens. The air comes in and it pressures it up and pushes it out into the intake manifold.
A turbocharger is basically an air pump. It forces more air into the engine. You get more air.
This thing should spool really, really fast with the dual inlets feeding off of each bank of this 5-liter Coyote motor. So now we got the turbocharger bolted in. We're going to go ahead and start connecting to our intercooler.
Matt's trying to install the intercooler on the F-150, but it just won't fit.
End tanks were kind of hitting on the inside of the frame rails. So we went ahead and we cut them to get it to fit. Now we got to modify and fabricate new pieces so we can go ahead and put our inlets on our intercooler. After we cut it, the coupler that slides on there, it'll want to blow off. So we put a little bead around it to keep it from coming off. I'm going to cut it on the saw and then make our bend. So now that we have our end cap tacked into place, we got 2 more plates that we need to make, and then we can go ahead and weld this side out. Now that we have our end tanks modified on our intercooler where it fits in between the frame rails, we're going to go ahead and get it installed now.
Looks like it was made to be there.
We're going to give it a once over. We still got to run our oil supply line, our drain line. We got a couple fittings that we need to install. This is our downpipe on the fender zone. We'll know exactly where we need to go with it.
Charlie and Tim are finishing up the body modifications on the front of this Baja.
We'll set the fenders up here and rough them in and see what we got.
Yeah. With way wider fenders and a fiberglass hood.
Right now, I'm making sure that the fiberglass fender doesn't hit none of the original mounts or on the cab or anything like that. So if it does, we're going to mark it now, trim it out, and then test fit it again and see how we look. Boy, look at that. That's 100% better right there.
Let's grab the hood.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
This thing is going to be a beast.
Yeah, it's going to look real cool.
My dad always told me that when I was little, I loved getting those little die-cast model cars we had to put together. He would buy me one, and then he would see me put it together, and then he'd see me taking it apart, and then putting it together again. It was always a fascination in tearing apart vehicles and building something better than what we already had. Our biggest tool and one of my favorite tools is our plasma cutter. Before, there was plenty of parts that we would have to do hands-on, whereas now, computer does it all in what I would do before. Bill hates computers, and
And to me, computers is one of the biggest things I like to use. When we first got the machine, nobody really knew how to run it or who was going to run it. And I asked him, I was like, hey, so who's going to do it? And he just kind of like looked at me and was like, well, who else? Working with Bill, he does have high expectations for everybody, which is a good thing. He doesn't want anybody else to fail, because the way I see it is if we fail, then he fails. So, of course, he's going to want us to exceed in everything that we do, but of course, he always wants it done in 2 minutes. So.
We finished the frame and the body work on the Baja build, but one day I'm gonna sell it. So I'm gonna pick a paint color that's just gonna turn heads. Charlie Murphy.
So, man, what you got now?
Man, I need to pick a color for the old Baja.
Man, what color you thinking about?
Let me get this paint chip off of you. See what's up.
Probably one of them two.
One of them two? That one right there?
That's it, man. I chose a burnt orange metallic that'll make this Baja look like none other.
So this is what we got here. This is the color that Bill wanted. It has a lot of pearl in it and a lot of metallic in it. And as you can see, it looks real good under the light. The first thing I painted when I was a kid, I painted a bicycle. You know, I started out rattle cannon, and then, you know, and it started from there, and everything just kind of escalated. And then I ended up painting a 71 GMC, which was, you know, my truck. Me and my uncle did it together, and that was an experience. And then from that point on, it was over for me. There was no going back. So this here is an unusual color for the Baja truck because half a gallon is pearl. Usually you got like 15, 20 grams. This one here's got 700 grams of pearl. And then it's got 600 grams of a different pearl. So that's half a gallon right there, you know what I mean? So this is going to be beautiful out in the sun when he jumps over Spot's head.
When I see something in my head, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. This F-150 was a little rough when I first got it. We transformed it into a totally different truck. Dave is in for a huge surprise. He has no idea. I'm heading out with my guys to test out this Baja truck. As promised, I invited Dave to come check it out.
Y'all got that truck done, huh?
You're going to be blown away when you see this truck.
Really?
It's not the same truck that we got from you.
Damn, that is completely different.
Nah, I told you so.
You sure that's the same truck? Damn, I cannot believe it.
Yeah, man. Sure you can do it.
Bill can do it.
In typical Bill fashion, you know.
Gotta tear it up.
Told you.
You sure that's the same truck?
Promise you.
Come on. Bill, you sure that's the same truck?
Man, I can see why Dave is shocked. This thing doesn't look anything like it used to.
Oh, you did a lot of work to that thing.
Man, a lot. Started off fixing the frame. We put the frame back together so it's nice and straight now. The integrity's back in there.
I never would have thought you'd have been able to fix it.
We went ahead and took off all the old suspension, what was left of it, threw on their new long travel suspension, put some big old shocks and coilovers in the front.
Man, it looks good.
Of course, you see the color change on the whole truck.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the grill, the bumpers, and the super wide fiberglass fenders and bedsides, man. That thing just looks so angry and pissed off when it's coming at you.
It does.
Little bed cage in the back holding the spares.
Sounds like I heard a turbo on that thing.
Yeah, man. You know, we had a little test drive and it just wasn't getting it, so it needed a little more power.
You gotta have more power. That's always.
Custom made a whole turbo setup for this truck. Big stainless exhaust piping through it, intercooler tubes, all that stuff. Did it right.
We about to see how much power it's got.
Yeah.
Man, I said I wanted this thing to jump over Spot. Last time we couldn't even get it over Santa. Man, and now it's time to give it another try with that new turbo.
There we go. Come on,
Whether it's dropping a vehicle down low, raising one up high, or jumping one through the air, you got to have a good team. And I got some of the best around. I can't thank my guys enough.
Bad. He's scared now.
You got this. You got it.
Hell yeah.
Man, that's going to work. I told you. I know. Yeah. Hey, Bill, I got to tell you, I never thought you'd have pulled it off. Man, that truck was hit hard, and you made it come out good. I'd really like that thing back. You think we can do something around 75?
Oh, man, come on. That thing's still too new, man. I need a little bit. Let the new wear off. I'll give you first choice, man, when it comes time.
I'm interested. Let me know.
All right. I wasn't planning on selling this truck today, but, you know, after I'm...
Nobody would have ever said the first builder did that. It would have been on extensive.
Where to begin?
Man, what do you do with this thing?
Party, we go to shows. No, this just isn't keeping up. Let's get crazy, all right? Ice, beer, food.
This thing's gonna be so loud, it's gonna slap him right in the face.
Oh my God. Man, that's crazy. I love it.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Every day on my way to work, you know, I always pick up some breakfast for myself. And I tend to pick up a little extra for the dogs on the streets. When I get to the shop, I usually have 3 or 4 dogs, extensive. You know, we like to take care of business. That's inside the shop, outside the shop, it goes all the way around. And when I say outside the shop, I mean the neighborhood dogs.
You know, a lot of them are super friendly. They just come up into the shop, walk around, look around, check out the new projects, and go on with their day.
Don't drop them off here. But the ones who need help, we got a big heart and try to help them all the time.
After a little bit of TLC, you know, they become part of our gang. So just like everybody takes care of each other here at the shop, we got to take care of them and they take care of us.
My friend Dorian owns PSE, you know, our diesel guys, says he has a customer with, you know, a truck that has a few little issues. So today we're going to get it in and check it out. You know, hearing creaks and moans in a truck that high off the ground could mean multiple things. Could be just a little lube here and there, or it could be a catastrophe waiting to happen.
What's up, man?
How's it going, man?
CJ.
How you doing, man? Nice to meet you. This is the one you were telling me about, huh?
That's the one, man.
Man, it looks good from here, but you got some problems underneath.
A lot of problems.
It's all yours now.
Well, man, let's check it out.
Yeah, I'll let y'all talk. I'm gonna go talk to Rudy.
All right. You see a couple issues just as soon as you walk up to it, huh? Just all the welding and grinding and everything up front. It just looks... Man, you can't have that. Oh, man.
Told you it was bad.
These drop downs are just super sketchy, man. There's nothing even holding this but bolts on the outside. Man, that holds the whole weight of the truck, your load, everything. There's nothing to hold this thing from flipping out. Man, that is really dangerous. A stock 2017 F350 with no lift weighs over 8,000 pounds. This is exactly what I didn't want to see. A truck this high that weighs this much, that somebody could be driving down the road next to my family and yours. I mean, it's super unsafe, and this is something that needs to be addressed immediately. Oh, man, I thought this was the bad part, but that's...
Needs a lot of attention back there, Bill.
You don't even have really any of the plates bending. Bag mounts are all twisted. The 4-link bracket is about to rip off the axle. And whoever did this has no business building anything like this at all.
And the sad part is it hasn't even been driven, really.
Man, thank God you didn't get in it and drive it down the street and hook a trailer to this thing. Yeah. It's just an accident waiting to happen.
It's not good. I go to shows and travel all across the country, and this is one of the trucks that I use to do most of the traveling with, and I have a lot of weight back there that I pull around too, and a lot of money back there too, so if something happens,
I don't know what I would have done. When I picked it up, I didn't know that it was that bad. It was that crazy.
What do you put behind this? You got a gooseneck trailer for this thing?
I got a 40-foot. I've got 2 matching rigs. I got a big 95 old body style, and I got another matching Tahoe. They all go on that 40-foot, so I needed to do what I bought it to do.
Oh, you want to be able to actually use it?
Yeah. Need a usable dually. Right now, I can't even drive it. Feels like it's gonna fall apart.
Man, I've seen this look a million times. When you're giving someone the bad news, he paid good money for somebody to do this to his vehicle, and we gotta redo it again. That's how the Tree of Shame was built. Let's get this thing unloaded, man. We'll get going on it, and we'll make it right for you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go make it official.
Let's do it.
You know, this is Texas, so everybody wants, custom vehicle. Because of that, there's almost an endless supply of customers that want to get work done to their vehicle, and there's plenty of shops around. Just take advantage of that. Don't really know what they're doing. They just want to make a quick buck, and this is a prime example. Unfortunately, we do see this quite often. You definitely have to be careful of who does your work for you. Especially on a project of this size, man, as heavy as this thing is, it's probably 8,500 pounds. That going at 70, 80 miles an hour and something breaking on this thing is going to somersault down the road and it's going to kill somebody. When we're done with this truck, this thing's not only going to look cooler, it's going to be way safer.
I didn't know Fisher Price made lift kits.
This is scary. This is super dangerous. There is no kind of support here holding this to the frame other than, I think they have 1 or 2 bolts underneath here. That's it. Bolts on the outside, a couple of them are just for looks. They're just stuck in the whole silicone. Well, man, it's really scary.
And please tell me he didn't drive this thing here.
Man, he didn't drive it. He's only drove it around the parking lot, maybe a quarter mile, half a mile. That's all the damage of just the stopping and starting with this much weight with some shady brackets like that.
I can't believe somebody sold him this job.
I mean, that's just, unfortunately, that's what, a lot of people don't know. They're driving around with stuff like this. I mean, that's really scary. There's definitely a few things that we got to address on this thing. One of the first ones is putting some support back into this, attaching it to the frame, making it super safe and strong. We can use what's here. The basic design is here. The geometry is, for the most part, correct. Build some supports, some nice tubular supports to connect each thing. We can powder coat it in blue to match all the rest of the truck. And that'll tie everything in together. Next we're just going to pull the axle completely out. Let's start over fresh, cut everything off. The 4-link brackets, the bag brackets, all of it's trash. We'll build all new bracketry, incorporate some tube work in that also, so it looks cool and is really strong.
Everywhere you look, there's something going on.
At least we got a lot of stuff we can put on the Tree of Shame.
Definitely get that extensive forest going.
There's going to be a lot. Let's go, man. Let's get ready.
Alright, first thing we got to do before we lift this truck, we got to release the air pressure out of the bags. Like that.
This is like a crime scene investigation. Tim and John got to go through every inch of this truck to find all the bad work, tear it all out. Then we can start to make things right.
Man, look at this. We got a rub mark here from the tire. If it would have rubbed even more, it would have eventually went all the way through and we would have lost air pressure in this corner and would have just been a disaster. When you remove that bag on that side, was it tight?
Had a little rock to it.
We got like 1/8-inch gap between the base of the bag and where it's supposed to sit. One turn and it came off. Look at that. Look how many threads was holding. Just one thread.
They're uneven cuts, even strip bolts that are welded together.
You know you're not supposed to weld bolts, right? Because they're weak.
You had to cut the bracket so it would fit.
You got a weak point on top. Might as well make the bottom one weak too, huh?
This plate comes all the way down to here and over. Here and over. And nothing in the back.
Hollow inside, huh?
Nothing tying them together. So all it is a big prop bar just peeling that metal away. You see,
that's why it's ripped right here and right there.
There's a bar 7 foot long. When that bar moves up, all it's doing is peeling this back like a tin can. This is the weakest point right here. It's just gonna start peeling that metal up.
Where to begin?
In order for John and I to even get started on this rear end, let's cut everything off of it that was done before, go back to stock, start over from scratch, and do it 100% right.
So we can rebuild it the right way. We're going to keep the existing drop-down brackets, but Tim and John are going to add a ton of strength to them.
Okay, so what I'm about to do is burn out a 4-inch by 4-inch hole here. That way it gives us access to the bolts we're going to add to this. So we can reach in here and put a nut on every bolt that we can. That way it makes it extra tight to the frame.
When we tore this down, there was a big gap between the bracket and the frame. There were still little gaps, so we filled it in with flat bar. Now that that's filled in, that gives it a solid mount. We bent this piece here, bolted to the frame, and then we'll weld it all the way down. So what it's ultimately going to be is a cradle that sandwiches a frame, and have bars in between that make it 100% strong and sturdy.
Working on a previously customized vehicle is a lot more work to go back and fix than something you just start from scratch. Righting a wrong, in this case, a bunch of wrongs, have been a big part of my business. On the other hand, I like the challenge. It keeps us on point. Yeah, always ready. And good thing too, because we're always getting calls, come on over, we need some help.
Middle. Peter. I'm driving.
Hey, what's happening, man?
Oh, hey. What's up? Phil? Eric.
Nice to meet you, man. This yours, huh?
Yeah. This is mine.
Man, what do you do with this thing?
Party. We go to shows.
Yeah.
And, this just isn't keeping up. I got the trailer down in Florida. It pulled into my booth. It was pretty cool. Towed behind this cool van. It was my birthday. Had the for sale sign on it. Gave a little nudge to my wife, and here we are.
You just need something just to wake this thing up to draw the crowd over to your booth, huh?
Exactly, yeah. What I want it to be like, is when we show up, it's like, Stealth has arrived. This badass trailer that we get ice, beer, food, everyone's hanging out.
I don't see any place here for any ice or any storage or anything right here. Just
No, it's pretty blank right now.
Man, I love the idea of a party trailer. I mean, the basics are here. We just got to expand upon it and make something over the top and just cool. Man, we can definitely wake this thing up. Like this grill, man. This was, did you find this?
Yeah, well, it fit, so I put it in there.
Carry on this thing. You got a party trailer, you gotta have music. You gotta have a lot of music. And maybe even some air suspension on this thing. Something where you can raise and lower when you're going off-road. We can get crazy with it.
Yeah.
If you're down for that.
Yeah. Crazy is what I want. Let's get crazy, all right? Whatever it takes to make something cool. I want people to come up to our booth. I want to be able to hear what's going on. I want to be able to project that sound as drinks, as food, people hanging out, music. I mean, this is going to be awesome. Yeah, let's do it. Go all out,
Man,
get this thing out here. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, sweet.
All right. Party trailer was a great idea. It's a great concept. It works okay. It draws some attention. We're going to take this thing and just draw a lot of attention. This thing is going to be not just something people are going to talk about. Wherever show it's at, wherever event it's at, people are going to want to come see this in person. On a vehicle, you got to work around what's there. There's all kind of parameters to work with. Something like this, you just have a good time, only restricted by your imagination. and we're gonna let our imagination just go crazy on this. You know, you're creating a party and
looks like it's got sausage in it.
Mine's better than yours. Need a cerveza.
Need something.
you guys, do you ever work?
We're just trying it out.
Make sure it works, huh?
Don't worry.
It's not lunchtime anymore.
Well, it's taco time now.
Yeah.
Well, this is the next project we're going to be doing right here.
Cool.
You know, this thing is, it's cool. We're going to make it way, way cooler. We're going to make this thing party on wheels.
Fully functioning, one stop, make it, eat it, party.
Absolutely. You know, right now we just have an old wore out grill, old smoker. That's it. No storage, no place for ice, no place for drinks. You know, new grill, new smoker, just something just crazy.
We have a tortilla maker.
Pretty cool. You?
Yeah, I'll go with the trailer everywhere. That'd be cool.
You know, next problem this thing has is suspension. This thing's almost riding on solid axle. We're going to put air suspension on this thing too. Going to car shows, events, and you know how loud some of those events get. So we want this to be the loudest. Not only loud, we want the lighting. We want cooking, eating, the total experience.
Cool, man. After this thing gets the suspension down, we can go to town. I see a bunch of like tower speakers around here.
We got room in here for a few subs. We can get in here, get playing some nice lows out for everybody.
Yeah, fire right out the bottom. Like maybe some acrylic on the top. You can light it up.
And we'll cut cup holders into the acrylic.
That's an awesome idea. We were told to go crazy, so that's what we're going to do is go crazy on it. Let's make something just totally off the wall.
I think we got it.
I've done a couple things. We'll be all right.
All right.
All right.
Finish my taco.
Start tearing this thing down, brother?
Yes, sir. I guess taco time's over. It's time to tear it up and build a new place to eat.
Let's do it.
Going to? Hey, easy, buddy.
Right now, we're going to go and pull all this wood out of here so Bill and the guys can do what they got to do.
There it goes.
Easy enough.
Wow.
Good. Going up, day 2.
For a regular trailer just going down the street hauling whatever, these axles work pretty well. But with them having that big tire on it, it makes it want to bounce more. There's no kind of shock system to it. The 4-link system is going to be a way better system, especially going off-road, little twists and turns. You know, you want a little more clearance out of it. It's going to ride a whole lot smoother than just this one axle right here.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing he's changing it. It's all broke right here. It's all cracked. It looks like it's been broke a couple of times. I just kept adding weld to it every time it broke. At least it's at the right place now. Not even that heavy. No wonder it was bending up.
Yeah.
Heads up.
Now we have the axle out of the way, we have the brackets out of the way. We can clean this all up and we can start fresh.
So we're going to go ahead and cut the smoker off. It'd be nice and easy if we could just go ahead and cut around the circumference of it. But unfortunately, it looks like there's more welds underneath. Hope you got a smoking good deal on that one. This thing ever smokes.
Because this is a party trailer, it's about function as much as form. We need to smoke and grill like only Texans can. Something completely custom. So I made a call to the pros.
What's up, Bill?
What's happening, man?
What's up, bro?
These things look good, man.
Yes, sir. We got our beautiful heavy-duty barbecue safe smoker and a solid stainless steel industrial gas grill, man, that can handle the vibrations of the road. Built all by hand right here in Houston.
Craftsmanship looks great.
That's all primer for you, ready for that beautiful paint job you're gonna put on it. And I'm excited to see what you guys can do with it.
Let's get it off and
Let's do
get it going. Time to get to work.
Yes, sir.
It's a real critical part of building this party trailer is getting the cooking and preparation areas all laid out right. We got some really cool custom grills made for this thing, and super important. This time around, we're gonna make sure every part has a purpose and everything is where it's supposed to be. To improve the functionality, we're putting the grill and the smoker on the back of the trailer.
What we're gonna do is take the existing barbecue pit and we're gonna drop it down, because if we were just to make these fit right here, it would be way up here. And you can't cook meat like that. You're gonna burn the chicken. This is a stronger joint than just butting something up and welding it all the way around. So we're gonna make a 45 here and then an offset 45 right here to kick back. Some people would just cut this off and just throw a tube down and kick her over. That's not how we do things here at Extensive. Woo! You need me to hold it, Jimmy? Pick up on it so I don't mind. Oh! I was just gonna get a hammer. That works too.
We're gonna use 3x3 steel so it'll hold up all that weight. So I see we dropped them down about 8 inches, so we're not going to reach up too high. Go ahead and mount these pits and drill some holes for the mounting bolts. Yeah, straight. Whoa, down a little bit. Hold up. That looks good, huh, Jamie?
Looks nice. Step down the frame. Everything. It's gonna make it super easy to cook.
Perfect height.
Yeah.
You know, Tim and John have really been putting a lot of work on the F350, but it's heading in the right direction. Now they're lining up the rear axle to get it connected to the 4-lane.
What we're doing now, we got the axle where it needs to be. And with the bars that we have, we're designing some brackets that go around the rear end and connect the bar to the rear end. So right now, John's just kind of sketching something out. We'll give it to Rudy. He'll burn us 4 of them out. We'll punch a hole in it and put them on the rear end. Looks good. 4.
Good beat jerky.
Hey, boss. And what's the plan?
We need 4 of these.
For a truck this size, we always try to over-engineer it. In that case, we use 1/4-inch plate for all the brackets and tabs on this truck, which will make it a whole lot stronger. We're gonna make sure that's flush with the rear end. When we do that, we know this is in line with this one, that one's in line with that one, because this is straight all the way across. We always want to double check all these measurements to make sure everything's 100%. When you look at this tire, it'll match that tire perfectly and they'll track together all the way down the road. If not, you'll get it tracking like this and you'll see the back end of the truck either going that way or that way because the axle's not exactly centered.
The reason we weld the insides first before we box it is it makes it a lot stronger. There's a lot more weld to the axle. A lot of people will make these already boxed in. They'll place them on the axle. Well, you could only weld the outsides. You cannot get to the inside. So we like to do it like this, so it's stronger. Some pretty good welds there. Myself a pat on the back.
Now that John's got all this welded in, it's really strong. With some pipe rolled across here, some other pipe crossing it, it'll be fully welded all the way around, and it's gonna make a shape that's gonna make it extra strong.
Yeah.
We're gonna trace this one where it's gonna
intercross each other. We'll cut this one will weld to this one, and this one will continue all the way to the rear end.
This is gonna be extra fun. The only problem with running all this pipe work like we do is you never get a simple 90-degree cut or a 45-degree cut. Everything's a weird coat that you gotta do to make one pipe tie into the next. It's never really easy. There's always a challenge. But if you take your time and cut a little bit at a time, grind a little bit at a time, make it fit right, it'll just make the weld look a whole lot better with a tight fit.
Time. Just takes time.
Really rough shape. We've replaced all the old sketchy rear metalwork with a brand new rear suspension. We're gonna mock it all up with the existing 4-lane bars.
That looks like shit, man. Hot thread here. This bar is not only short, it's also bent at the end
from a splice. I guess they ran out of material spliced. I mean, that's one thing you don't do. Is splice a 4-lane bar.
If we'd have left this like this and like this, nobody would have ever said the first builder did that. It'd have been on extensive.
No, we can't have that. We gotta make it look right and perform right.
So what we're gonna do is go ahead and build 2 new upper bars for this. You see right here where this one's all bent. They had this much of one stick left over and then this much of another stick left over. It looks like they just butted it together, beveled it, and then welded it to make one long pipe. The way it's welded together right here, it gives it a point to where it's been heated up. It could be brittle, or it could just break off altogether because it won't hold. So we don't want to take a chance in something they spliced together. So we just went and got a whole new piece of DOM. That's gonna make it what we need, as strong as we need, as straight as we need, and it's gonna... These are our new weld-in bungs. And the weld will go from there to there, so when it gets powder coat and everything is done, it'll look real nice and smooth. Perfect. All right, John, weld it out.
When this party trailer shows up to events, the owner wants this thing to grab all the attention. Heath and John are gonna make this thing happen with custom seats, bar tops, and a ton of audio.
Got it? Yep. Bingo then. It's all you. For the countertop, what we're actually gonna do is make an acrylic sandwich. It's gonna be lit up in the center with LEDs. The hard part is gonna be cutting the brittle material without breaking it. That'll work. Are you lining up on this corner?
Yes.
Well, then we're there. The last thing we'd have left to do is cut out the opening for the ice chest. Got this piece of MDF cut out as a template. Look at that. All we're gonna do is transfer it into plastic now. Nice. The top, so we can get the lighting in it. I'll use the black plastic as my template and just follow my plastic around and it'll be a perfect copy of what I've already got. Continue the process all the way down as we get all the pieces made. Once they're done, all we gotta do is get someone to come clean up our mess. Yeah, good luck with that. All right, see what we got here. Nice. We decided to go with these boat seats. They can handle any kind of water, any rain, any mud, so that'd work out pretty good, but we can't leave them alone. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the company logo and we're gonna put this on a piece of acrylic and light it up, mold it into the back of the seat, and that'll look pretty cool. All right, I've got all my badges made. So the next thing I gotta do is I gotta take and attach them to the back of the seat. So I'm using 1-inch PVC and attach it to the inside so that I can screw into that and not into the frame of the seat. I'll attach the badge to it, and these are just going to be some transfer marks. When the filler hits them, it'll pick up the marker, and then when I pull it off, that line will be in the bottom of my piece, so as I'm sanding, I know to come up to that line and stop, and that keeps everything straight. I worked at a trade school
for probably almost 10 years. And one of the hardest things was teaching them to sand. Anytime they looked at sanding, one of the hardest things to do is just kind of get in your head and know that I gotta sand this. It's your space, spend your time, and just go to town. Now that we got all these logo badges roughed in and ready to go, next thing we're gonna do is put the party in them. We'll take them apart, get my elephant knife out, and get to carving on it until I can get these LED strips to fit. Once those are in, we'll get it wrapped, get it sealed up, and get them installed on the trailer. When Bill brought us this project, he told us one thing. This thing had to be the loudest thing in the park, the loudest thing at the show, the loudest anywhere it went. The name of the game here is just as many speakers as you can fit. Anywhere you can find a spot, you cram a speaker and make it loud. This thing's going to be so loud, it's going to have people thinking, what in the hell were they thinking when they did that? It's going to slap them right in the face.
You know, the bar top and seats, they're done. And we got the party trailer back from Powder Coat. We just got to hook everything up, and it's tailgate time.
Tom and I are doing the final install of the air tanks, bags, compressors.
Hooking up lights used to be difficult, but LEDs have made it easier by 100-fold. Small, waterproof, and durable enough to go anywhere. I'm adding about 170 feet of LED lights. And because you can never have too much sound, I'm putting in a soundelier. I hope the owner has some earplugs.
To say we worked a lot on this trailer is a total understatement. We put everything we can put in on this thing, and today we're going to give it back. What's happening, man?
What's up?
Man, appreciate y'all meeting me out here at 1886 Humble Backyard Bar. This place is all about having a good time, having a couple of drinks, and just kicking back. What a better place to bring your trailer.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me out here. This place looks awesome.
Well, man, you said go crazy with it. We went insane with it. I can't wait for you to see this thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's
awesome.
Definitely over the top.
That's so cool. I can't wait to see it. This is going to be great.
You ready to check this thing out?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, my. Dude, are you kidding me? Look at that thing. Holy shit. Wow. I've never even seen speakers like that before. This is just crazy.
Well, you wanted something to draw some attention, right?
Oh, dude. That thing's insane. I love it.
What's up, guys?
You have something to do with this thing?
A little bit. You all right?
Great.
What's up,
Good
man?
now.
As you see here, we touched every part of this trailer, put air suspension on the back, so it's totally adjustable with a big, heavy 4-link on it, so it looks mean and nasty, too.
Yeah, I love the 4-link. I can't wait to really get under there and look at everything you did. I can't wait to get it off-road, drop it down, bring it up. This is going to be perfect.
You had old smoker in the back and a grill up front that you found somewhere. I'm not real sure.
Yeah.
My boy's Pitmaker got you hooked up with the smoker and grill, centralized in the rear spot so you can, keep all the cooking back to the back and just worry about the party in the front.
The old barbecue, it was trash. Total garbage. And this new stuff, it's insulated. It's got all these layers. These guys are going to set me up with everything I need. And it's just so much better than before.
When it first came in, we sat down, we had tacos on it. First thing we figured out that it wasn't very comfortable to sit down and eat on. So we had to get comfortable seats in it.
It's such a good idea to use boat seats because instead of the wood, now I don't have to worry about it. No matter what I throw at it, I'm good to go.
Bill gave us one other thing he told us. It's got to be loud. We need to power 6 or 7 cars, we put it all into one. 6x9s down the side, really just firing right into your gut. We've got the 10s overhead. We got woofers down on the bottom. This thing is so loud, you'll be drawing people for at least a mile away.
It is loud.
That is make it a little bit better. We put lights everywhere. We even lit up the countertop. Lights in the seats, lights around all the rest of the speakers. Man, this thing parties all day long.
The way they put my logos on everything and they light up, the attention to detail is just unreal. It looks like everything in excess. Exactly what I wanted.
You definitely got that. How about we fire this thing up and really see what it's about?
Oh, yeah.
Many 2-pound burgers or what?
Heck yeah, man. Texas-sized burgers for a Texas-sized party.
Wow. When Eric is checking this thing out, I can tell he's just amazed by what he's seeing right now. Check out the... I can't believe how much sound those put out. It's unbelievable.
Overall, I am just totally blown away. I mean, I asked him to go crazy with it, and it's just totally over the top. Built in. This is crazy. Thank you for everything. This thing's freaking awesome.
You got it, man.
I'm bringing it out to SEMA, Glamis. I'm going to put it out front of my shop up in New Hampshire. We're just going to have a party everywhere we go. Party on wheels. Thanks for everything.
Mm-hmm. The front suspension on the 2017 F350 is in way better shape than the rest of it. But we still have to clean up the shoddy metalwork before we even think about sending this out with our name on it.
All we're trying to do here is knock the high spots out of it. We're not trying to make it smooth and grind it to where it's going to be paintable. They're going to come back and put some body filler on it and be ready to paint.
Well, Tim did a great job grinding it off and cleaning it up for us. The next step that we will do, we'll come down with some Bondo. One nice trick that I've learned is for curves like these, you might just rub the Bondo on your finger like this, run it across, and you get a flatter surface that blends into the curve. And there comes the sanding next, which I'm finna start off with 36 grit, and then come back with 80 and finish it off. Now we're getting ready to prime it. The good thing about the primer is you'll be able to see some of the imperfections that are around here. Scratches from the 36, stuff like that will have to get addressed again. So there's no going back. Here it has to be done right, no matter what.
You guys did a great job on this. This thing's looking good. Ready to blow this thing apart and get it painted and coated, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What the? What is it? A bolt water and another bolt. Just when I think I've seen it all. This bolt's function was to hold this hanger to the frame, but I don't know what that bolt's function was. That's something new to me. That's custom. I guess we got a new berry for the tree.
Now we got everything stripped down. We're gonna send it out to powder coat, send the rest of the body work. In a couple days, we put it back together.
Where are these going?
Gotta find a new branch. Years ago, there used to be a big tree in the back of the lot, and everything we've cut off just get thrown around this tree. Eventually, a big storm came, knocked that whole tree down. Was coming up, started welding up here, and that's how the tree of shame got started. All this is stuff that other shops have done that we felt was unsafe. So then over the years, as you added another piece, another piece, another piece, it's now growing like an oak tree. It's just growing up and up and up. True to form today, it just grows a little bit bigger, gets a couple more branches onto it.
I think that's it. Shoot, 20 more years, it'll be as tall as the other one.
Maybe taller.
5 years?
5 years.
All right, well, shoot. Let's get back to it.
Bring this in.
Got that, right? I know somebody got that.
You know, there's a lot of work had to be done in this big blue F350, but now's the time to give it back to CJ and his family.
Art Museum.
It's a cool spot, huh?
It is. I like the murals and everything, but you gave me a call and I don't think we're here to look at paintings.
Definitely not going to look at paintings today. Got something else for you to look at.
Yeah.
You ready to check this thing out?
I'm ready to check it out.
CJ has a whole 350 to join the team.
It's hauling! Man, that's crazy. I love it. That looks good. Hell yeah, man. God.
I know it's been a while since you've seen that.
It has, man. That looks so good. That is a killer setup. Killer setup. That's going to look awesome at shows. Hey!
Hey!
My wife's here. Surprise! What a surprise. Awesome work. Looks good.
Look at me.
Little one, what's up? Bill had the whole family here, the whole fleet, and it was just super cool.
CJ, when this thing came in, you couldn't even drive it, much less put this thing to work. Once we started getting into this thing, tearing it apart, it was just nightmare after nightmare. Like opening a can of worms. It just never stopped. We went from front to back and got it rolling further now.
Safety wasn't a big concern with the last shop, I guess.
As you can see right now, problem solved. All in the car.
Yep.
If you see on the front axle was just garbage.
Yeah, it was bad.
It just looked like it was gonna fall apart any second. We ground off all the old welds, re-welded everything, body worked and painted, made this thing look good. This thing's coming at you, you see it, so it's gotta look good.
Yep.
And from that, you see the new 4-link bars going all the way back to the new bracketry on the axle. They had spliced together 4-link bars. Get that out of here.
Yeah.
That's all on our tree of shame.
Yeah. Looks good.
So we got it all bolted to the frame nice and strong, and we have tube work underneath there, connecting from side to side. Not just, strong to do its job. It's got some style to it.
Definitely. And now it looks amazing. The tubing, the support, it's just good that he went through every inch of this truck to make sure that it was perfect.
As far as the rear axle, we just started fresh, cut everything off, welded everything up, and just made you some cool bag mounts, 4-link mounts, and it's all artwork. It's a piece of art underneath there.
And now we get to haul with it.
That's it, put it to work. Looking back on this project to see how bad it actually was to where it is now, having to rebuild all the underneath of this thing to make it safe for CJ and his family, it's just something we had to do. We had to make sure it's right.
Bill, man, you killed it. From the suspension, everything you touched, amazing work, amazing work. I get to haul, my family's safe in it. I couldn't be happier, man. To be able to use this truck and have my family with me on these trips is awesome. I feel safe, and I have a very reliable truck to get from my house to each show.
Most of the time when you're building a project, you start fresh. This project we get in A to C and ended up going all the way to Z. There's a bunch of hidden issues that we had to address. That's what we do. Make it safe, make it cool, little step.
So how much more money do I owe you?
This little puny bumper, and I ain't gonna cut it. This thing's finally starting to look like something.
1934 Buick.
It looks perfect. I'll tell her we're cutting this up. We'll take this original engine out, put a late model Chevy in it.
We're gonna piss some people off.
We're gonna show it the respect it deserves.
Get some shocks in here.
He wants this thing to be able to drop on the ground also.
Holy that's beautiful. And it's not yellow.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal. That's them, huh?
That's it, man.
8-inch springs. Yes, sir. That's what we need. That's perfect. It's going to put this thing the perfect ride height. Let's go ahead and get these things underneath here. Get little one. Let's knock this thing out. Let's get it bolted up. Everything is extra large on this 1996 International dump truck. It's one of the biggest builds we've ever done size-wise.
All right, let's go.
We have these leaf springs arched an extra 8 inches. It's not every day we get to convert a huge old work truck into a show-quality, flatbed, militaristic truck. But man, when we're done, there's not going to be another one like it.
That was kind of difficult.
That was a little difficult. You ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's do it real quick. I know that look.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to do to the dump truck. A lot. Rear suspension, parallel 4-link with the big, huge triple convoluted bags.
You're doing the whole rear end
hangers, 4-link, bag mount, shock mount. It'll take twice as long to do the back of that truck.
Twice as long to do everything on the truck. Build the bumper, paint the thing, the whole interior.
Wasn't the engine really messed up?
Yes, that reminds me too. I put a call in with the one-way diesel guys. They're coming down, and they're going to tidy up the engine compartment and get this thing running good. At least we're getting a custom-made bed for it. It's going to be really cool. Front suspension's done, but you know, everything's taking so much longer. Everything's bigger, heavier than we're normally working with.
I had a feeling you're fixing to tell me like you need it tomorrow or something.
You know, we got a little time on it, but it's getting way, way behind for sure. Ready to go get after it?
Well, let's go.
Let's go do it, man. We already tore the bed off, made and installed the hangers. Now we can get going on the rear suspension. We got a super huge truck, so we need some super huge bag mount. You know, we usually use 3/16 D plates for the bag mounts, but on this one, we're gonna make bigger, thicker circle plates out of 5/16. This is the foundation of everything. This is gonna support every bit of the truck's weight, so this thing needs to be super strong. Then we'll have our spacer to simulate the bag when it's at ride height. Gonna mount that up underneath the frame where they're gonna be. And this thing looks so beefy in the back. I want to continue the bag mounts to look beefy too. So I want something just mean looking, right?
Hell yeah.
So I think we ought to come right off the axle up to the bag mount and then all the way across to the other bag mount and then down to the axle. Okay. Just with two.
We got it.
We'll just bend it. We're not going to roll it or anything because it's a boxy truck, so we'll continue with just square bends. It's still going to look really cool and be really strong. Looking good, man. We got the diagonal link, got the 4-link, got the bag mounts. You know, one more step.
Shock time.
That's it. We need a bottomed out measurement of our shock. So that's why we made a quick jig. Makes it super easy to duplicate. You know, with the really large size of this truck, you know, it's going to need some good dampening shocks, especially with the big triple bellow bag. You want something that's going to control the bounciness. I mean, that's basically what a shock does. It controls the rebound of the suspension. You know, sometimes it just looks like we throw a shock in place. Oh, building suspensions, placing shocks, you learn what to do and what not to do, and you improve each and every time. Every vehicle is a little different as far as weight, the angle of the shock, how stiff the shock is, relating to the weight of the vehicle, to what type of suspension, how long the suspension bars are. I mean, there's variables on everything. You know, we got some good stiff shocks at the proper angle. This thing's gonna ride really, really good.
Hey man, what's going on?
A good trip for you?
Oh, absolutely. Great roads all the way up to Houston from Oklahoma.
Man, I sure appreciate you coming down.
I think we may have built exactly what you need for this build.
Cool, man. Let's check it out. A lot of times, we just build the new truck beds. But interest of time, I designed one that Billy made just for this truck. Man, first thing you notice is that big wheel well.
Exactly. I hope you got a big enough tire to fit this.
Definitely.
I'll tell you, man, when I saw the drawings, I was concerned, but I know you, it's all good. Got your gooseneck hitch, your receiver hitch built in, so be able to tow and haul with that big rig.
Yeah, this thing's cool. You know, this isn't off the shelf.
It's not off the shelf, I'll assure you. Certainly.
Get off and get it on the truck. How much does this thing weigh, you think?
I don't know. I hadn't built it before.
What's going on, man?
Man, I need your help, buddy. This truck is just big, mean, huge lip, big tires. This little puny bumper.
Man, that ain't gonna cut it.
I want to leave the holes, the hooks, the bumper mounts, everything here. Okay. So all we'll have to do is split it right here, straight down here, and then straight across.
We'll just carry that all the way across.
We'll split it like that, and then all we'll have to do is add 8 inches in the middle. Put it all right back together.
elevation in the middle. We'll have a much more aggressive bumper that's gonna look perfect on this truck. All right, so I got my filler piece now to go ahead and connect my bottom of the bumper to the top of the bumper where I section it. If I fit this properly, I won't have any issues down the road when I'm going to weld all this together. Because if it's not lined up, I'll be fighting the metal the whole time I'm welding it. All right, so I got my centerpiece in. I'm gonna go ahead and start tacking the edges right here to make it a perfect fit. Okay, so I got the bumper looking pretty good, the 8-inch section in there. I'm really happy with the way it fit. So the next thing to do is go ahead and put the side pieces on. You just gotta do it by eye. I like that fancy footwork. It's pretty close. So I'm gonna go ahead and tack it in. So everything looks pretty good. Everything's welded solid. The next step is go ahead and mount it up to the truck and see how it looks.
The owner, John, wants a really unique truck. You know, one that can win trophies, but also get to work. So we're gonna add a winch behind the bumper. With something this size, you never know when you're gonna need one.
Okay, so now that I got the bumper mounted on here and sectioned, everything's good on it. I'm gonna go ahead and start mounting my winch. Try to get the winch centered up somewhat behind the bumper. So first thing is to do is go ahead and start building the brackets and go ahead and mount the winch. Man, that's perfect.
Get this over to Rudy, get it burned out, and get it on the truck.
Winch bracket, I'm gonna go ahead and stick in the brake and put a 90-degree brake on it. Once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and bring it to the truck and fit it up. Now that I got my winch bracket bolted to my winch, so I'm going to go ahead and put some tack welds on it. Then I'll go ahead and put my bumper on it and check my clearance. So it's pretty much a slide for the cable. Basically, we're trying to center this up with the winch. We don't want it too high, we don't want it too low. We want it to be centered so when it winds up or unwinds, that it's not in a bind. So it's pretty important to get this pretty close to the center of the winch, the drum, and then it'll be right. I overcut it just a little bit so the winch cable doesn't fray or catch on the metal. Pretty happy with it, looks good, looks right where it needs to be, so he'll be able to help people out or help himself out in a bind.
Big part of transforming the overall look of this 1996 International dump truck is so now it's 9 feet long, which is about 3 feet shorter than it was. 9 foot, 109 inches. We're cutting the frame and boxing it in so it'll look like it came from the factory like this. Then it'll be just as strong. Close this gap up. You know, in the early days of a big build like this, it can be hard to see how we're going to turn the old dump truck into a mean military-looking truck. But you got to keep the faith and just make it happen bit by bit. You know, when a custom car guy and an antique come together, that's just a combination to make something really cool and over the top. You know, Javier's in a lowrider club. He's got to show up and show off. He's got to keep his rep up. We built a ton of cars for Javier, like this 46 Chevy right here. And anytime he calls, we're happy to help.
Hey, Bill. How's it going, man? Good to see you.
Hey, real good. Good to see you.
Man.
Good to see you. Man, your cars are looking good.
Oh, man, thanks. Remember this one?
Yeah, that thing's still looking good, too.
And you did a great job on that. I'm a welder by trade, and I know his welds are perfect. Funny to say that, but
you know.
And you've done 3 for me. I've got 1 more for you, though.
Let's go check it out.
Let's go.
Man, that's a good-looking car.
1934 Buick.
This thing's like new.
80 years old. I found it in North Carolina. Guy had it in his garage for years.
This thing was top of the line back in the day. You don't find many 1934 Buick Model 57s looking this original, this clean. Well, what do you want to do to this? I mean, it looks perfect.
You know, Bill, I like driving, and right now I can't drive this thing. The car's not reliable, it overheats, so I want to be able to go where I want to go and not have any problems at all.
So what's under the hood now?
It's straight A. You want to look at it?
Wow, this thing is cool.
Pretty old, isn't it?
Straight 8, you don't see that a lot.
No.
So you want to take this original car, take this original engine out, and replace it with something else.
Bill, that's what I want to do.
This is one of the very few times that I'm a little hesitant about taking this car apart.
We're going to piss some people off.
Definitely. Some people are going to be mad.
You know, a lot of people don't like changing parts. They like to keep cars all original, but I like driving them. So
original engine out, put a late model Chevy in it. That way you got your reliability, fuel economy, power, something you can just get in and drive wherever.
That's what I want, Bill.
That's what you're going to get. If we're already going that far with this thing, we might as well put some air suspension on this thing and get it down really low. I know how you and your boys like to ride low.
We roll fast, but we also roll low.
Gotta lower it.
You gotta lower it.
You know, to even get this thing a little lower, we'll put a little bit lower profile tire and take these wheels and change the color. Just make it stand out a little more.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's got to be it. We can't chop the top or cut the interior out or paint it a different color or anything. I mean, we're already committing blasphemy with the Buick people. You ready to piss some people off?
That's why I called you, Bill.
Man, bringing a car in this old, this original, this cool, it's a shame just to do anything to it other than wash it. And we're just going to tear it all apart. I have my reservations, but I'm glad it's here. I'm glad it's us that's going to get our hands on it. We're going to show it the respect it deserves. And, you know, this car is so original. There's nothing been done to it. So we're going to be the first ones to do that. All our parts and pieces that we're going to build are going to make sure the car is done perfect.
Didn't you guys have one of these when you were little? Brand new?
Man, first gotta wash this thing, clean it up a little bit, a little maintenance, right?
Customer's got a different idea on that.
Don't tell me we're cutting this up.
That's what he wants, man. The problem with this thing is the straight 8 in it is just not reliable for him. He wants something he can just get in, you know, turn the key, start it up, cruise wherever he wants to go, and not have to worry about all the issues that come with the old technology here. So what we're going to do is pull this out, put a late model LS in it, something he can just get in it, hit the key, and go wherever he wants, not have to worry about overheating or anything. We're going to replace the rear end, give him something a little more strength to it, man. This one definitely won't hold up to the power LS puts out. You know, new drive line, the whole new running gear, disc brakes, front and back. He wants this thing to be able to drop on the ground also. So we got to replace the straight axle in the front of this thing, replace it with independent front suspension and air suspension on top of that. So when he gets where he's going, drop this thing on the ground.
Hell yeah.
Man, you really don't have any issue cutting this thing up, huh?
If it ain't cut, it ain't custom.
I hear you, man, but you know, we want to give it a little extensive style. You know, something maybe like a coil pack cover to maybe go with the styling of the car.
It'll make not as many people hate us for putting an LS on this thing.
It doesn't matter what we do. They're going to hate us for pulling this one out. Let's get this thing up on the rack, start tearing it apart.
Cool.
First things first, the little one's got to rip out the old suspension and then the motor.
Man, it's crazy this old car has a gearbox style mechanism on the top of it. Usually they just have a bushing and a straight bolt, but since this is definitely not a gearbox, it's more than likely something with gears and oil. Man, they were smart back then. Everything's pretty much off the bottom. Now we can go ahead and just get this grill off, and then we can pull the engine out. Whew, that was heavier than I thought. Man, dude, look at all those springs.
And they don't really make them like this anymore, do they?
Nah, they don't at all. Here, let's get this on so we can get this motor out of here.
All right.
All right, back it out.
so huge. I don't think I've ever seen one like it, man. I wonder if Al Capone used this car. Probably not, man. We don't see any bullet holes in this engine.
Designing the suspension on this old school Buick definitely has some challenges. None of our off-the-shelf parts are going to work, so Ryan's got to get busy by making all custom parts.
We're going to start now with making the mounts for the two links. As you can see, what we get to work with here, we would typically just make our own cross member, but with the structure and everything that's going on here, I don't think it's necessary. We can reinforce this and build brackets off of this, and it will work just as well, and it will look great. That's perfect. Taking my templates over to Rudy so you can burn them out. Hey, dude. What's up? Is that quarter? That's quarter. That's quarter. I was gonna have you cut two of these out for me, so I could just cut this while you were doing that, but since that's quarter, I'm just gonna make you cut all of them out for me. I know you're not doing anything over here.
That's what I'm here for, right?
Appreciate you.
Once I get all my curves and lines figured out, I'll trim everything up, transfer it over into the program, cut Ryan's pieces out, clean them up, take them over to him.
Alright, so after I get my pieces cleaned off, get all the slag chipped off of these, I'll take the template and mark the lines where I need a bend. I'll use that other little template that I made. I'll take it over to the big break and I'll just slowly bend it until I get the right radius that I want. Everything we do is trial and error. I'd like to get it on the first time, but I don't always work out that way. Cut that out with the plasma cutter. And tack it in. Alright, so we got the plates welded into the frame, stiffen it up. Also gave us a mounting point for our two-link tabs. The tabs basically will weld to the frame, and this is going to be your mounting point. This is your pivot point here. So this is where it's going to connect to the rear end. We'll start here and move our way to these other cars are built just so rigid. It's a really rough ride. This would be like night and day difference. It would be riding on a cloud versus riding in a wagon barrel down a gravel road, so I think what we're doing here is a little better.
Dang, man.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, man.
This thing is rough, dude.
The diesel in this dump truck came to us in rough shape. There was a lot of creative fixes and even garden hose under the hood. John, the owner, wants to keep this engine and make it reliable, so I asked the Wells family to come on in and get this thing running right.
Bro wasn't lying, was he?
No, I can see why they call it the dump truck.
This thing is terrible, man. Got some electrical tape there.
On a fuel hose? That's a hazard just waiting to happen.
Yeah, we've got our work cut out for us, man. First things first, let's get this big honking piece of trash off here. Let's clean that up with a newer, updated intake.
Help it breathe a little more?
Yeah, get a little more power out of it. We need to change out all the radiator hoses, get all this stuff cleaned up. Watch out. You'll give it a little more appeal under the hood.
That insulation is not going to work. We're going to have to rip that out. We'll probably have to do something about the heat, so we'll heat wrap this sound pipe. What we have here is exhaust wrap. Just say firewall, getting your feet nice and hot. It also helps clean up your engine bay and make it look a lot nicer. All right, now we got all the ugliness out of it. It's time to start cleaning her up and moving forward. What we have here is a K&N air filter. They are really good about airflow. They allow air to get in and keep the most dirt and grime out of the engine. She's a lot better than she was.
That's right, bro. Let's get the hose on there. Last thing we gotta get taken care of, the safety hazard of this wiring.
Yeah, I hate for something bad to happen there.
These wires, when they're bunched together, can cause a break in the circuit and them to short out. The short, it can create a spark, and right here by the fuel system, it's a terrible thing to happen. So I'm gonna trim this off, put us a butt connector in here, a heat shrink one, so we can keep this sealed off from the elements. Move the wiring and take the slack out in other places so it's a smoother transition from here to main harness. And then get it all nice and zip tied out of the way so it doesn't look like trash. Well, that's it, man. I think we got it all.
We ended up having to do a few extra things to it, but I think it was well worth it. Now it's not going to catch on fire.
It looks 10 times better, a lot safer. It's ready to go, man.
School bus yellow isn't going to cut it on the dump truck. It needs a big color change to give it that militaristic, overall mean look.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Good, man. I got the color for the old dump truck. A metallic gun barrel gray is really going to be the way to go on this. Not just that, but I think I want to go with the two-tone.
Two-tone?
Black bed, black running boards, and the very, very roof I want all black also.
Damn, it's going to look enojado.
What's that?
Real mean. Real mean.
That's it, right, buddy. Do it to it.
Got it.
I want something on this truck that's really going to stand the test of time. I don't want Army green. I don't want the Desert Storm tan. The gunmetal gray is definitely going to make this thing look really cool, give it an aggressive look, and still be custom. John, the client, said he wanted this international dump truck to be unique. We're definitely heading in that direction. Now it's time for the custom flatbed.
Next project is getting this thing on the truck, which is not going to be an easy task because it's got such a long bed in the back, we can't pick it up from the rails.
You got to spend extra time to do every little step. You know, just picking the bed up is just one more example of how much work goes into something like this. We're about to see if it'll work.
Gunmetal gray, the black, it's just going to tie together perfectly.
Ready?
Yeah. We'll bolt it down from there. Go down.
This is a big ass bed. This thing's finally starting to look like something.
It definitely gave it the industrial look that he was looking for.
Right? Definitely no more school bus now. This thing looks mean. Man, it's a good day. We'll get the rest of this thing tomorrow, mount this bed, start building the running boards on this thing. Good night. This truck's so tall, we're going to need some extra steps going in. So we're going to make some running boards / steps, and I'd like to make it one solid piece. A problem with that is the cab's 7 foot long, and our equipment's running boards out of 2 pieces. It just takes extra time to get everything 100%, and this truck flexes a lot, so over time it wouldn't line up as if it would if it was one piece. I'm gonna go see my old buddy Ernest at Diamond Sheet Metal. He always helps us out. I've known Ernest since I was a kid. He's one of the Northside experts I can always count on.
What we got going on?
Man, I'm working on old International. Thing's way off the ground. It's a huge truck.
Way off the ground, all right.
So I need some running boards / steps integrated in it.
Okay.
I need 2 pieces, 7 foot at a 14 gauge.
We can break it up to 12 foot. 10 foot, whatever you need.
Well, I only need 7. I know you got the big brakes, the big shears. So whenever I can't do it, I come see you.
We can have it.
Well, thank you, man.
All right.
Give me a call, man, when you got it.
I'll do it, man. Take care. When Bill shows up in my shop, I know it's something I got to hurry up and do, so I usually stop, produce whatever he wants. Back in the 70s, that's how long I've been knowing Bill. He used to lower bikes, stuff like that, and I knew he had a great future in it because if he can do it with a bicycle, he can do it with a car. We're making all these marks, they got to be right on the money. These are where the brakes are going to be. If you don't mark them off right, we got to start all over. You got to mark here with a circle, it's going to be bent up. No circle, it's going to be bent on the other side, bent down. If you don't bend these things right, all the money and material is wasted.
Undercarriage of this old school Buick is structurally different from most of the vehicles we work on. They just don't make them like this anymore.
You know, there's not a whole bunch to the rear of these cars. It's real thin sheet metal and a lot of wood, so we don't have a lot to work off of, and I don't want to just weld straight to the frame rail because they're like 10 gauge. It's real thin. So I'm making a foundation basically to be able to, you know, build my rear suspension off of. What this is going to do is act as part of my frame. We'll get some bag brackets on there, some shocks, diagonal link, and we'll have a brand new suspension on the rear of this car. That's it. Let's do some shocks. Let's get some shocks in here. With the way that I'm putting the shock and where it's going to be placed, I just want a bag that's never going to hit it. Even though we do a bunch of air suspension here, every application is different for the most part. You know, the concept is the same, but actual building it and getting into it and making it functional and making it work and the geometry and staying the same, it's all different. That's what keeps this job, you know, interesting and makes it fun to come to work every day because it's not that repetitive, same old, every single day. But it's done back here and now we get to move on to the front. Got the lower control arm bolted up and the spindle bolted up. As you can see where the frame comes and where my lower control arm is, there's no room for a bag, there's no room for anything. So just like everything else, we're gonna have to make it work. Decompress with no air in the bag is gonna be 3 inches, right? I'll take this 3-inch block, describe a line all the way across. Judging by the looks of this right here, my tie rod's gonna be somewhere in this area here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just cut what we need with the plasma, make a plate to fill it. For the most part, I got everything cut out. Right now, we're gonna get some 4-inch flat block to make my fill piece here. Nice fit. Everything is going to be built off of this plate right here for our upper bag bracket. So this is critical in making sure that this is fit up properly and welded in properly. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to trim it back, get a nice fit up, get it tacked in, then we'll weld it off. And whenever you're welding, you want to get a nice weld, a nice fuse. You want to go from metal to metal. You don't ever want it to overlap completely and then just weld the outside. It's not going to get anything in there. It's not fusing anything. What I'm looking for on this is just trying to match the same radius here. Just I want that same roll all the way through so it looks like nothing was ever touched. It looks like it came like that. So just start on the flat spots first. I like to knock it down and make sure it's flat and then start rolling. So once I get it kind of close, I'll come back with the flat disc and then clean it up and get rid of most of these lines. Hit it with a DA or a wire wheel. I mean, that's pretty much it. I've been liking it. Looks real nice. We got work to do, man.
Ryan's putting together the last little bits of the front suspension on the old school Buick.
So this is exactly where it's going to be right here. Now everything's in place. I can just attach to the top of the frame, get that tucked in there, throw a shock mount on here, and drop our motor in here pretty soon.
Yes, sir. Man, I get it. I totally know what you're talking about. You know what we can do? We can just pause on it, let you think about that. Once you think about it, let me know. We'll get back on it. All right.
Just the person I'm looking for.
Man, I just got off the phone with Javier, you know, with the Buick. He's not real sure of what engine he wants to put in it, so he wants to put that thing on pause for a minute. The customer needs some time to make the right decisions on the right engine, so we're going to give that to him. I get it, man. He wants to think about exactly what he wants. We don't want to give him nothing that he's not 100% sure about. The extra time always takes a toll on the bottom line, but that's what we're doing to make it right. Trust me, this thing will be perfect when it's finished.
Cut a piece 3203. Tail chop it on top of the panel board.
It was a working dump truck, so the interior left a lot to be desired.
Just tape it to it.
You definitely can't have that, so John's gonna make it right.
We're building a big, badass dump truck.
So we got to get something that's going to be utilitarian and follow along in design and keep up with the beating around this truck's going to get. So we're going to make some really cool door panels. The idea that we have here is we're going to make a metal kick plate. That way it's good and rugged for climbing in and out. You kick it with your boots, whatever, it's good to go. You know, this is kind of the fun part to me, the creative part. You know, you get in here, you get to lay this out, really actually bring your idea into fruition. You know, with this truck, it's big, it's boxy, it's a beast coming down the road. So you open the door, you want to kind of have that same idea. It just needs to say, I'm ready to work. Next thing I'm gonna do is start cutting this apart, and we'll transfer it onto the base panels, and we'll get it foamed up. Here's my foam. Time to get busy. Like I hadn't been busy already. Alright, now I'm just going to trace this out. When you're cutting this foam down, if you put any kind of lean in it, and it will show up in the end, or it's tougher to have to sand out. So just kind of work keeping that blade straight up and down. We're actually going to put a beveled edge around this, and that way when it comes up, it'll dip down into the insert panel, up both sides. So just cool little detail. Get all that thing beveled back, and once that's done, we put another layer over it. I'm going to wrap the doors in marine vinyl while Jamie's cutting out the steel for the kick plates.
This is going to look really good on the door panels that John's doing. I went ahead and cut this out of 18 gauge steel, just sheared it. Now I'm going to cut it to the right size, go ahead and prep the material, and I'll bring it back to it. All right, looks good. I'm happy with it. I'm going to go ahead and bring John, go ahead and do a test fit real quick and go from there.
See how she fits. Cool, man, perfect fit.
Cool, well, let me go knock out the Mother 30.
Can't wait to get over to the body shop and let them get this thing painted, get this door panel together, and it'll look pretty cool.
It's gonna look nice.
Panel harness did really, really good. I mean, all the angles look exactly perfect, exactly what I wanted. So next step is just get this up here and start shaping it. Hey, pretty soon we'll have a running board.
Put your hand out there.
So about 5 inches. And we made it a little bit too long so we could shrink it down, cut a little here, a little there, make this thing fit perfect. From the front fender well all the way to the bed.
Man, that's a big difference. That's nice. It's gonna make it real easy to get right on up in here.
Next step is just shaping it perfect to the fender itself.
Pretty cool little trick right there.
Used to have a sign company across the street. Showed me that. Of course, we just could have squared the ends off and put it on. You know, taking the time to shape it, to make it fit the truck.
It's like the front just right here needs to come in a little bit.
As if it would have came from the factory like that. That's what I want it to look like in the end. You know, no matter what we're working on, a little extra time, a little extra cut, a little extra weld makes a huge statement in the overall project. Can't wait to see this thing black up against that gray. It's really going to finish the whole thing off.
My name L1 actually means little one, and I got that name around the age of 14 doing electrical, body shop, and paint. I always wanted to keep on learning, keep on going to the next thing. Start from the bottom, work your way to the top. You gotta know how to do every single part of the job. The first thing I learned how to do was actually sweep up a shop. If you don't know how to sweep up a shop, then you shouldn't be doing much of anything else. I'm not done learning yet. This is me with 10 years experience. I want to see myself with 20 years experience, 30 years experience. You always want to get something right and then keep on learning, but you got to learn the right way with the right people. If you're not open-minded to learn from others, then you're not going to get very far in this business. I like working at Extensive. The talent here is so diverse, and it's just crazy the amount of knowledge that you can gain. If something breaks, you make it. If you can't find it, you make it. If you can't do it, you make it and you do it. And that's why we keep building the best things that come out.
And like that, what was an ugly international dump truck has become something else entirely. Installing the seats, doors, running board, 10-inch tall tires. There won't be another custom truck quite like this on the road.
Hey, Bill, what's up?
Hello.
Hi, and good to see you as always.
Same.
What up, Johnny? I've known John Wood for quite some time. I love this guy, but I love messing with him too.
You got some news for me?
Well, I wanted you to come out and check this thing out. I got a couple questions on it.
That usually means there's problems, so how much more money do I owe you?
Right. I called him in, told him we had a couple issues with this truck. You already know how rough that thing is.
It shouldn't have any rust. It was covered with tar.
You know, I can tell right now he's super worried. He thinks it's going to cost him a lot. You ready to go check it out?
Yeah, let's go see what we got going. It always bothers me when you say you have a problem and you want me to... Oh, that's not a problem. That's done. You lied to me. You're lying to my face. Holy, that's beautiful. And it's not yellow.
Of course, there was a couple problems, but now it definitely runs and
that
drives.
Thing is bad, eh?
It's ready to roll, John.
It's really, really neat.
What do you think about the bumper on this thing? Split it, added 8 inches, made this thing way bigger with the big winch on it.
Added a winch. He even added a winch. I didn't ask for it. We're going to get it stuck sooner or later, and we're going to need the thing. I knew it was big when I saw it at the office, but in here, this thing's huge.
It was already big, but it's way, way, way bigger now.
The color choice was good.
Right? Getting rid of the school bus yellow was most definitely an essential part of the build. Changing it to gunmetal gray and making it a two-tone, it was definitely the right way to go.
Well, that's very different.
Right? You had creative fixes all throughout. This thing was a fire hazard for sure. My one-way diesel guys came in, they just fixed everything and addressed all the issues.
I knew it was bad. I had no idea it was actually a fire hazard. I'm glad they fixed it all up because, you know, I have employees that are going to drive it and it has to be safe. Wow.
What do you think about this thing?
I love it. This is great.
Right? This is way better before. Those old steps on this thing, you can see all the frame. Couldn't have that new running boards on this thing and integrated the steps in it.
Vertically challenged, dude. I have to wait to get up there. You refinished it all. New seats, carpet, door panels. Wow. Wow. I bet it doesn't even stink in
new smell in there. Just had to rip all that out. Had the seats redone, got new carpet in it, and there was no door panels in this thing.
Right.
So John and Daniel hooked you up with that. You know, we could have just wrapped this thing, changed the color. But,
this is way better than a wrap.
You know, this is going to represent your company and mine, so we got to do this thing right, man.
Absolutely. Now on to the good stuff.
Right? What do you think about that?
It looks correct.
No more dump truck, right?
No more dump truck for sure.
Cut the back of the frame off, scooted the axle forward. All the suspension was all handmade underneath this thing. It's got a huge 4-link on this with big triple bellow bags, so you can haul whatever you put on the back of this thing can haul it.
Wow.
And ride.
And ride
super smooth. And the bed was built specifically for this truck. You see the big wheel well opening. Yeah. So what do you think, man? Is this going to work for you?
Absolutely. I'm afraid to scratch it now. The bed scale matches the truck scale with the giant wheels and tires. It's a functional truck, and we're going to work this truck. You can tell the people that do this, they're craftspeople.
That's right. We all have passion for what we do, for sure. You know, this is just one more example just to show how good a guy in the shop just kicked ass time and time and time again. I know this thing is going to do everything you could ever want with it and even way